non-human beings in the chat.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
I could just feel the toxicity oozing off of this one already. And I was rewatching the movie earlier, so there's a little extra little, like, no, a little scent flourishing over of toxicness from this one. So, what's up, chat? I see already a lot of you all up in here. This is awesome. Mr. Tickle Trunk, he showed up early. I think Mr. Tickle Trunk was a little too excited. Or am I early? You know, see that count? Oh, man. Son of a... J-Man, are you ready? I was born ready. Hey, dude, catch the replay. Culture Casino, what's up, dude? Hey, no worries about tonight. Hope I can get you on for another Toxic Tuesday. Disease, welcome. The Islington Girl, hello. Commenting is dangerous. I see you. Michael Hickson, what's up? Hey, D-Bud Martin. Oh, man. And I may have already said, but I'm going to say again, the Islington Girl, hello, hello. Holy shit, guys. We're going to talk Big Trouble in Little China time. Hey, Channel Surf. Nice to see ya. Holy shit. We got a lot of toxic dudes on this panel, and it's going to be fucking beautiful. And I'm gonna bring on, well, he is my basically co-host. Basically. And he's the one who likes to rule down on this panel I do with an iron fist. That son of a bitch. Mr. Mad Mardigan.
Hey man, how's it going? Sorry, I was in the back handing out insure to all of our guests. Make sure.
Oh, well, how are you, sir?
Oh, it's good. I was just giving out. Man, what's those chocolates that they always have in their pockets? You know, the little with the it has like the caramel. It's the with the yellow. Bring one of them up there. They'll know what I'm talking about.
We will. I see you, Mr. Dragon. Hello, hello. All right. For the first time on here, he's a man who builds things.
Is it Welter's shoes?
Werther's
shoes.
Yeah, Werther's. Notification did go out. Thank you for letting us know, Islington. Appreciate that. Good to know. For the first time on Toxic Tuesday, he is a member of the Dix Division, a builder of things. Mr. Bruce Lombardo. Hello, sir.
Hello, everybody. How is everyone tonight in YouTube land?
We're good, man. Thank you for coming on. This is great.
I really appreciate the offer that you made, and we've talked about it before.
Yes.
So, I mean, I really am thankful that you allowed me to come on stream and join this amazing panel of toxic humans. And we're going to have a wonderful stream chat tonight about my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, wow. Ooh, nice. You know, that may be worth the accolades. I see Mr. Tickle Trunk said, just guys know, you know, few minutes, better late than never. All right. Well, Bruce, thank you for coming on. Like I said, like you said, sorry, we've talked about this, but now we're actually doing this. So it's a pleasure to have you on. And let's have some fun. And now we got another debuter on here. He's a man of many mods, many modifications. He's not just a red shirt. You have heard Vigilante say many, many, many times he's the red shirt. He is just another red shirt.
Hey there, 32 flavors of Dick Weiser and counting. Yeah, I'm psyched to be here. This is my first time on the stream, and thank you very much for having me on. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be glorious. Hey, thank you for coming on. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm glad you could be on here on Toxic Tuesday. It's a pleasure, and it's also a pleasure just to be streaming with you again. It has been a bit, so it's nice to do this all over again. It's going to be like old times, like we never even stopped. So it's going to be beautiful. And also, returning from a streak in a row, another man who's a builder of things and has so many toys and ones he needs to send me, or I got to go over there and steal them. Mr. Marc D with us.
Welcome. Yep. Glad to be back. I got to, I printed this Eddie since you've been reviewing the new Iron Maiden album, so I might have to throw a little paint on them and send them to you to So that's a cool, can't have enough Eddies, right? So,
never.
but yeah, thanks for being here. This is an awesome movie, and it's gonna be fun. This is a crazy one. So, Big Trouble Tonight.
Yeah, I see what you
Boom,
did there.
boom.
Oh, I can tell the dad jokes are be flying on this battle.
Well, we got some good puns in this movie, so
Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah.
You remember when so they would come out with movies that are like they're close to the, like, instead of Transformers, it would be like Transmorphers, right?
Yeah.
Talking about a silent film.
The artwork behind him looks like that came from somebody that was trying to copy, because that is not Kurt Russell. Because looking at him, I'm like, that's not Kurt Russell. That looks like medium-sized Trouble in Small Little Italy. Yep.
Hello, Soul Assassin. I see you over there. What's up? All right, we got two other fine gentlemen to introduce all up in here. One who's not been on here in a while, and he was at one point in life very frequently on here. And he hails from a generation where he is that 70s rock fan.
Hail chat, hail panel. You said you had two other fine gentlemen to bring on, so you better get them on, and you can come back to me. So, see, now, just as I've done that, my webcam started to fall off. It's so toxic in here. Like, it's just the weight of the toxicity is pulling it down.
No, even it was sad at that joke. It was like, oh.
So, Nick, my buddy, it's so good to see you again, especially after last Friday night on the cocktail lounge, because I didn't think I'd ever see you again after that.
Right?
That was it. No more Nick.
I'm not sure any of us thought we'd ever see you again after that.
I meant to message you to say, hey man, are you okay? But I completely forgot about your existence. But yeah, like I was the one like, nah, I'm sure, like, he.
Well, I will explain the mystery of that story shortly after we introduce our other less gentleman here. Debuting on Toxic Tuesday, here's Benjamin Grimm. It's clobbering time!
Yes, it is. No, I can't say it because you said it already. Clobbering time did it anyway. What's up, buddy? Nicholas. And
Sir.
question mark?
Right, that's going to be up for debate tonight. That's going to really be up for debate tonight. How's it going, Clobbering? I'm glad to finally have you on here. I feel like this is a perfect movie to have you on for.
I love it. Ever since the first time I saw it at the theater in 1986, I can't even count how many times I've watched it. And it's also one of those, what I call channel stoppers. Whenever you're flipping channels, if you had, I don't have cable anymore, but if you're flipping through and you land on this one, it doesn't matter what point of the film. You're stopping because it's just one of the greatest movies ever made. What a masterpiece.
Oh, I know, right? Stone Cold Jeremy. What's up, Stone Cold Jeremy? Nice to see you as well. You're a Muslim uncle. Hail.
Hey.
Man, we got a lot of awesome visitors here. All right. Yeah. Well, this looks like this should be our panel. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I'm going to have our debuting Clobbering Times talk about his initial experience of Big Trouble in Little China to kick things off. Clobbering Times, you get to go first. Batters up. Talk about your initial experience with this movie way back when.
Well, it was already a big fan of Kurt Russell primarily because, he'd been in those Disney films as Dexter Riley in those films, and then he played Elvis on a great ABC miniseries, if you remember. Then Escape New York, of course. I was already, because of that, a huge John Carpenter fan. I just already loved the guy. Anything that I'm probably going to go see it. I've been reading about it in Starlog magazine. Remember that? Leading up to it, and reading interviews about it, seeing pictures and everything. You got to be old to remember Starlog. That was how you got your science fiction and fantasy film, info back then. Mm-hmm. And reading about it, there's obviously couldn't wait to see this thing, seeing pictures of it. I'm like, well, it's Carpenter. It's Kurt Russell. There's no way you're not going to go see that. Whenever the first night was in 1986, I can't remember exactly. It was summer. And that was it. Fell in love with it. I can't remember how many times I went back to the theater. It's impossible to count how many times I've watched it now. Like I said, you always stop on it. It is one. If you just did a list of greatest movies or favorite movies, this is a list I'm going to do one day. Most quotable movies.
Yeah.
Movies that you walk around with your friends quoting all the time.
Yeah.
This makes the top 10 easy.
Oh,
Walk on-
easy. Yeah.
Now, many times old Jack Burton says that at a time like this. Who? Jack Burton. Me. I mean, there's so many wonderful lines in it. He is terrific. He was doing this. We talked about in the interviews before I even saw the film. I remember reading, Kurt Russell talking about this over the top sort of a caricature of a John Wayne. Even in the way he's in his cadence.
Wayne.
Yeah, in his cadence there and things like that.
Wayne.
And this, after playing McCready in the thing, and after playing Snake Plissken, it just shows what a great actor he is. He would take upon a role like this. He doesn't mind poking fun at himself, and that's one of the things that this is I know it's tough to pick a favorite Carpenter film, but this might be mine.
All right. Oh, awesome. Hey, Clobberin, I think you have some issues with your mic. For the most part, you sound fine, but there are times where it kind of pops. Just so you're aware, I'm not sure if you have any issues.
And it breaks up too.
Yeah, it kind of breaks up at times. Just so you're aware, but I still was able to get almost everything you said though. So it's all
maybe it's the internet down your way, Clobby, just because of what's happening down your area.
How about right now? It's doing it now.
Yeah, it's still doing it.
It's still doing it, but hey, we'll persevere. Yeah, we'll persevere.
Mark, you think you may have sunk down onto his wires?
I don't know. Maybe. You never know. Well, dig a hole deep enough right now.
Before we carry on to our next gentleman, 3 human beings just went all in sending me money. Mr. Tickle Trunk sends me 2 of them. Jeez. With $2. Everyone ready for this stream? I was born ready. And then comes in with another $5. They Live, The Thing, and Big Trouble in Little China only happen when you give a man like John Carpenter free reign and a bag of money. We need a modern John Carpenter to give Hollywood the finger and try out crazy ideas. I second the hell out of that, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and thank you for your bona fide capital. I appreciate that. And I mostly appreciate that input because I agree. I'm sure everyone in the chat and on the panel will agree with that. And Stephen Otten for $3.99. Hail Nick Weiser, Mad, Bruce, Redshirt, Mark D, That 70s Rock Fan, Clobby, Wrenches, and Chet. It's all in the reflexes. Thank you, Stephen Otten. And the Islington girl for $3 says, because Jack Burton's check is in the mail. Oh, man, you guys are awesome. Thank you all. And I see Disease walked in here in Coldera. Hail, hail. All right. Next guy up in line of these toxic males, Mr. Mad Mardigan.
Oh, yes. Hi. I did not see it in 1986. I was barely anything at that point. I was still awesome, but
still awesome.
But for a 2-year-old awesome, how awesome can a 2-year-old be? But anyway, sorry. Oh yeah, I was thinking of a different joke that I'm not gonna say. I remember seeing this a lot. So growing up, my cousins, Brad, I'll say their names, Brad and Chad, because it's funny because they rhyme, like Brad and Chad. Wow. Anyway, so they because of them, I got to watch Rocky 4. And this was another one that I got to see because they left the VHS in my grandma's house, so I'd get to watch it over there. And man, I love this movie. It holds up so well, and I love this score. John Carpenter scores all his own movies. As far as my favorite John Carpenter movie, this isn't it. The Thing is my favorite John Carpenter movie. And it's also my favorite horror movie. And I hate horror movies, but I love The Thing. So,
that's interesting you said that, Matt, before I let you carry on. I know many people who are not into horror movies, and they love the hell out of The Thing. So I feel like that your comment is really relevant in this case because The Thing is timeless. It's straight up as I think Redshirt has something he wants to say to you about The Thing. So go ahead, Redshirt.
Well, I'm agreeing. I'm one of those people. I'm not a huge
fan of those. There you go.
Horror movies, but I absolutely love The Thing.
Right. Because I think it elevates itself above just being horror because of everything that's happening. The whole idea of not knowing who you can trust, and The Thing itself, once it splits off into something else, it becomes independent and looks out for itself, for its own interests, even against other things. So even The Thing doesn't know who The Thing is because it's you know what I mean? There's so many different, there's so much at play there. And just real quick, if you go back and watch, the cinematographer said that when they're human, he would have reflection on their eyes. And if they're the thing, it wouldn't. So you can go back and you watch and you can actually pick out who's who. So the end scene, when you don't really know if it's Kurt Russell or Keith Davis, like you'll be able to, and it'll give you a different, perspective on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, big time Little China. Enjoyed it a lot. I am not looking forward to all this talk about a sequel to it, even if it has The Rock in it.
Oh no!
They're not going to get it.
No.
One thing.
That's big trouble.
I was watching it, and Kurt Russell, he goes in a room or whatever. He's like, "I'm Jack Burton," and the guy goes, "Who?" I was like, "Oh, fucking James Gunn." It's the Star-Lord. Who?
Yeah.
Good pickup.
Yeah. That's fine.
Your reference. No, all good, dude. All right. So before we carry on, Mr. Jack Burton with $5 says it looks like the checker ride. All right. So I guess I'll go in third place for this one. This movie, I loved it then. I loved it maybe even more now. I mean, obviously Kurt Russell is an amazing lead. He's an amazing lead, but also just how the movie looks, just like all the colors, the cinema photography, and the second Man Mardigan, the music is so infectious. I'm a big sucker for good music. I know me and Matt we've talked a lot on Toxic Tuesday about music in movies and how impactful it is. It tells you how you should feel when you're anticipating a scene, and this soundtrack is just so enticing. It's so infectious. It's amazing. I love it. And the soundtrack is amazing. The action is great. It's nonstop. It's so ridiculous too, because you watch it, I can already hear the people oh, it's just so over the top. It's so realistic, and that's why I love it even more, because it's so just ridiculously crazy and all these crazy weird concepts. And of course, you got a name that has become in some circles a parody when you have a character named Wang. So you can't help but laugh at a guy named Wang.
I didn't. Not once did I ever laugh at Wang.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mad, that's why you could not write for the MCU now, because they think D jokes are funny.
What? Oh, yes, believe me, I love a good D joke. But I'm not gonna. You know me, I love the D jokes. So.
Just the D. You love
See
the D.
how I did that? That was a good dick joke. Yeah.
That was a save, my man. Yep. That was a save.
Real quick on the score, I wanted to mention that it's a really unique use of the Diaz Aries. It's a technique like Shining, dun, 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 and it has that half step, and so John Carpenter uses it, as does everyone. John Williams, everybody uses it, but he used it in a very unique way to where it almost doesn't finish that full those full steps, and just really appreciated it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And
I don't want to get nerdy with the music.
No, go get nerdy with the music, dude. Also, I love saying the Raidens. I call them the Raidens because right when I discovered this movie is right around Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I called all the dudes the Raidens, so that was always my name for them. They're still the Raidens to this day. And of course, to second what CLOBBERIN Time said, this movie is so ridiculously quotable. And even you see even the supporting lead with what's his name, Wang.
Dennis Dunn.
Yeah, Dennis Dunn. You have two characters you actually even though he's the guy who can't do as much as Kurt Russell, but there are times where Kurt Russell can't even do crap either against certain creatures and beings. They do complement each other as a pairing. They really do. So it's just this movie is just so good. And yeah, John Carpenter. For me, I'd say The Thing is probably number 2 or 3. So it flip flops, but Big Trouble does
2 or 3.
Hey, he's got a great resume, bro. I say flip flops, but Big Trouble stays number 1. And anyways, and Man Mardigan gets all some anonymous human being with 20 says, just showed Big Trouble to my wife, Catzilla. The more you see it, the better it gets. Agreed, the thing is Carpenter's masterpiece, and I think you blew your cover with who that may have been. But thank you, Anonymous. I will not say any more for 20. Thank you. All right. That 70s rock fan. Take it away.
What can you say about this movie? I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. I have been for decades. I have to say, The Thing is my favourite John Carpenter movie, though. In fact, I've just ordered a great new steelbook, pre-ordered a great new steelbook version of it. But
the 4K?
Yeah, it looks sweet. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that great and wonderful movie. Big Trouble in Little China. Now, this was released in the US in 1986, July 2nd, 1986. Those were the days when I was still living in the UK, when movies did not come out at the same time all around the world like they do now. It was November the 14th before it came out in the UK. And as Clobby said, you read about these things in Starlog or in other magazines or newspapers, and you saw trailers, and you knew damn well this movie was out there already in America, and you couldn't yet see it in the UK, and it drove me insane because I could not wait to see this film. I had to wait all the way to the 14th of November, which was just Buke. Boke, or the Boke, geez, the Boke, man. That gave me the Boke, that did, if that's what he means. Anyway, on a Canadian point, I'd have to say in France, this movie had the French Canada, Quebecois, had the catchy title of it, and I have to read this, Les Adventures de Jacques Burton dans le Griffin de Mandarin. So that's a really catchy title there. Probably contributed to its $11 million opening. But yeah, I was living in a little town up in the Highlands of Scotland at that time for a number of years, and it had a cinema. Now, you know, you have multiplexes. This cinema, they'd split it in two, so it had two screens. Mm-hmm. But all that really meant was that they cut off like 200 of the seats and had another little room with 30 seats in it.
I hate it when they did that.
They showed it but this was great because they showed it in the 30-seater, and it was full. Everybody, and I was there in the first, and everyone just had a blast in that room. It was absolutely fantastic. I was so impressed with this film. It's such fun, and for me, having somewhat limited exposure to martial arts movies. I mean, obviously, I'd seen Enter the Dragon and similar movies. I'd seen things like The Water Margin and Monkey on TV. Do you remember The Water Margin? Great show. Stuff like that. Water Margin was a really good TV show. Japanese, but Chinese stories, but it was made in Japan. But so seeing this action, this kind of martial arts action with all that stylized fighting, it was just like, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. How do those guys do this stuff, you know?
It was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon before Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, that's watching it again 6 months ago and then watching it again a few days ago for this, I thought, you know, that's where some of this stuff is coming from, you know, those set pieces and the wire work and all that, just absolutely fabulous.
You can see the wires every once in a while. You can see the wires.
But actually, to me, that kind of adds to it. I like that,
does.
you know. But yeah, I must have seen this movie, I don't know, 15, 20 times over the years. As you say, it's on TV. Oh, I'll just watch the rest of it. Can't help it, you know. I must have bought it about 4 times in different formats. So
VHS first, yep.
Absolutely love it. And I know we're going to be talking more about it through the night, but one thing I had to say was that even Culture Casino, I think, is envious of Jack Burton's hair at the beginning of this movie.
Dude, Kurt Russell still has that hair to this day. I mean,
does.
It's not a weave, right?
Yeah, to weave or not to weave.
It's not the weave.
Yeah, it's unbeweavable.
I can't believe you said that.
I came up with it like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I said it in the chat, but I got ignored. And I've been waiting on my opportunity to get some validation for it.
It was amazing.
I've seen other people come up with it since, but I'm like, gonna block them.
Well done.
You got anything else to add, 70s?
Oh, I got a bunch of things, but you know, we'll save them for later.
Yeah. Cool.
That reminds me, I need to go back and unblock that guy. I forgot his name though. Shit.
Culture Casino. Culture Casino. That's his name.
Oh
no,
all right.
Oh.
I got Mr. Tickle Trunks comment. I got to see Big Trouble on the big screen for the first time 3 years ago. Wow. The audience made it even better. Packed house in an old 120-seater theater in Toronto. Dude, that's badass, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Oh, that's awesome. I would have loved to have been in that thing, especially with people who've been invested in the movie and they're reliving it, but now on the silver screen, and they all know the lines and they know all the kick-ass parts. Oh, dude, that is awesome. And our Islington girl's getting all toxic up in here as well.
Toxic femininity.
Yes.
We're just objects to her.
Oh, she's
Just
She's fell
things.
under the spell. Yes, magic, the darkest kind.
Oh man. Okay.
What's
And
those
I'm
boats?
surprised, by the way, I'm surprised none of you opened
What?
with "Everybody relax, I'm here."
Oh,
I did it to you guys before we got on.
you missed that one, 70s. That's how Nick Weiser started out.
Well, I don't listen to that guy. Jesus.
Yeah, actually, I
Oh yeah,
didn't either.
why would I mean? Come on, why would you?
Why would I listen to that guy?
All right, Bruce Lombardo.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see this in the theater. I was 11 at the time it came out. If you guys remember, for those of you that were alive and doing stuff back then, trying to exclude you, Mad. Sorry, but
Mad was
for
alive.
those of you guys that were doing things, 1986 was the summer of Aliens, and the Cinemaplex we had nearby, that was the one movie they showed. So I went and saw that, and then I heard about this movie, and then the video store got it. They had it in VHS, not beta. Yeah, I'm one of those guys. It's got better sound and better visual quality. Yeah, guys, you think that consoles have had a console wars forever? No. VCRs had this shit long before that. So anyway, finally got a VHS player in like 88 and had a chance to watch it with my best friend. Oh my God. It totally blew me away. As soon as the movie hit the end, we didn't even get into the credits and the amazing John Carpenter score song for The Big Trouble in Little China. We rewound it all the way to the beginning and watched it over again. So about 3 hours and 10 minutes of joy watching it 2 times in a row. I've got to say that the movie has had an effect on me that rarely I have with other films, where I will watch it just arbitrarily once a week. But this is one of those movies where probably have seen it in excess of 40 times, 50 times in the past 2 years.
Nice. Dude, badass. Did you have anything you want to add before we go on to another dude?
Well, the main thing is that was the summer of Aliens, and the publishing house that put it out at the time, they didn't know how to market it. So they were only given $3 million for advertisements that year for their movies. So this movie was poorly marketed, and it was going up against the juggernaut that James Cameron was rolling out. So in retrospect, if they had done things differently, this movie might have actually made actual money. Now, John Carpenter's not the guy to do sequels. He's not done a sequel that I know yet, but he has done one remake that I know of, the district or the police precinct house. I forget the name of that one.
That's Saltburn
Precinct 13.
Yes.
Yeah. It was good,
So-
by the way. I liked it. The Thing is a remake as well, though.
Well, the thing's
It
a
is.
remake, but he doesn't do like sequels. He'll do a remake of a film he's done before, but that's about as close as he's got. But he won't. I've never seen him do a sequel yet. The only thing he's ever said is that he doesn't want to have a rock film or the rock star in a remake of this movie. He does. I've heard he does not really have a lot of enthusiasm for that. But I'm just going to ignore that, just like I'm ignoring Shang-Chi and everything after Ant-Man and the Wasp, because those movies just don't exist to me. I know that sounds bad, but
That's a weird cutoff spot. The Ant-Man and the Wasp is done. That's it.
Halfway through that film.
Look at Matt's face. Oh, Matt's face. But Matt was just like...
It happens at a snap. There's no reason for me to give a shit about what happens after the snap. The bad guy won. Thanos is in charge. I'm okay with that. That's the end of the MCU for me.
All right. Wow. I see Mr. Maxfield Von Presley. What's up, dude? Nice to see you all up in here.
Hey, MVP.
Yeah, right. The MVP himself. Thank you for dropping in on Toxic Tuesday. I appreciate it as always. All right, Mr. Red Shirt. You know what to do. Talk.
Yes, sir. This movie I did not see when it came out. I was old enough. This was the year after Back to the Future, if I remember correctly. And so I was going to the theater, but like so many others, I didn't see this movie, and it bombed. And quite frankly, it was a marketing flop, as has been mentioned. But it's one of the most quotable movies ever made, and I suspect we're going to prove that in the rest of the stream. And it's also those two things put together remind me of another movie that took off in home video and has become an utter and absolute classic, and that would be The Princess Bride. To me, as different as the two movies are, they have those two things in common. They were bizarre to the studios that produced them. The studios had no idea what they had. I mean, in this one, we have a comedy, a Hong Kong wire fu kung fu movie. We have a monster movie. They just looked at this and went, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
fantasy adventure.
Fantasy adventure, action movie, all of those things. And you throw that at a Hollywood marketing department, and quite frankly, any marketing department I've ever had to deal with, and they will all crawl under their desks and pretend they're not in their offices.
Oh yeah,
it's so easy though. You promote it exactly as if we don't know what it is, but you're gonna love it.
Yeah,
it's so easy.
Or just like Kurt Russell.
But man, they're not even that smart.
I mean, it's just right there. Just literally be like, we have no idea what it is, but it is awesome. You're gonna love
this
it.
Guy's hair, isn't it wonderful?
Now, I saw this movie when I did hear about it. I was like, what in the hell is Big Trouble in Little China? And then I found out, it stars Kurt Russell. And behind Marc D with a C there is an iconic picture from the movie with Jack Russell trying to be, gosh golly gee, Mr. Everyman from Podunk, USA. And I was a fan of Kurt Russell when he was on Disney movies like the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Yep.
And that reminds me of that. That picture there to me is a throwback to his earliest characters, like the guy with
Dexter Riley.
It's
in
the
Disney.
same. It's the same outfit that he wore in a different movie. I forgot what it was.
Yes.
Occasionally
the
revisited
glasses
that.
The glasses were what
Dexter
did it for
Riley.
Yeah.
Executive Decision. Even he has the glasses, and he kind of looks a bit nerdy like that. Yeah.
So having been a fan of his for years, I went, all right, I got to watch this movie, if only because of the fact that Kurt Russell's in it. And then I'm watching it, and I'm also a huge fan of Warner Brothers cartoons. I've been an animation fan for years. I own over my that shoulder over there. That's a Chuck Jones print from one of his cartoons. That's one of my favorite memorabilia. And there's a character in the Warner Brothers cartoons that reminds me a great deal of Jack Burton, a guy who thinks he's the hero, but he's the comic relief. Now, Burton redeems himself at the very end of the movie when he catches the knife, throws it back, kills Lopan, and says it's all in the reflexes. And that character from Warner Brothers is Daffy Duck. And Daffy Duck was in Duck Amuck, Daffy Duck in the Duck Rabbit Ducks, the Friz Freeling bit where they were in vaudeville. He was
Duck Dodgers.
Space Jam.
Dodgers and the
Duck Dodgers. Yeah, there's a great one. Duck Dodgers.
Yeah.
He's the hero. Yeah, except he keeps falling off of things. So yeah, Daffy is that the guy who is so self-confident, he's sure he's going to be the one who saves the day right before he trips over something he didn't see on the floor and face plants. Jack, shoots into the air just before the big battle commences at the end of the film, and brings a whole bunch of rocks down on his head, knocks himself out, and the battle commences without him. I mean, right up to the last major scene in the film, Jack's still tripping over his own feet. So he's a lovable character. He's a fantastic character. I'm not sure there are many other actors who could have played that sort of character believably in both parts. The one who's absolutely sure, hey, everybody relax. I'm here. If we're not backed by a gun, call the president. It's said with such conviction.
Such a great lie.
It's said with such conviction. You believe him right until the moment he walks into the next door frame, right? And bonk. Okay, yeah, nope, it's still Jack.
There's another layer to him, if you don't mind, Richard. What we're talking about, like, there's another layer to him where the whole time he's like, "No, I'm going for my truck." Like they're like, "Oh, what about the girls?" Whatever, I'm going for my truck. Like that's his whole thing. Was he wanted to? But it's just he's compensating for like not wanting to show people that he actually cares about other people, or like he doesn't want to help his friend. It's about the money. Got to make sure you bring me my money. But it's just him, just putting on that facade of a guy. So you don't really know if whether or not he realizes he's not the hero or if he really believes it.
Oh, I think he really believes it. That he sells to me. He sells that. He sells to me that he's the hero. He's the hero. He's the complete klutz through all but the end of the movie. But he just
he's got that bravado. It's just full on bravado, cocky. I'm a truck driver.
Some of the lines before Rachel goes on.
I
go with you, but I know there's a problem with your face.
Yes, the one I got here. Yes, there's a problem with your face.
Or are you insane? Is that your problem? How many people have you wanted to say that to on Twitter recently?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
That's right.
Are you insane?
Face quote is the best.
Pretty high percentage.
Yeah. So Jack Burton is still a character who's pertinent right now today.
Yeah.
So I bought this movie not that long ago, a while back, on Blu-ray, and then I couldn't find it one day. I went all over the house. I went through my office here. I went through all of the DVDs in the living room. I couldn't find the thing. I was like, I can't not have a copy of Big Trouble in Little China. So I ordered it again from Amazon. And it came, and I opened it up. I'm like, yeah, I have one. Where am I going to put this? And I went, I'll put it in my office. And I went to my office, and some of the Blu-rays, DVDs had fallen over in a bottom shelf, and I picked them up to organize them, put it in, and I went, wait a minute. And I pulled one out, and underneath another DVD was my Blu-ray. Now I have two of the other.
So who are you going to send the other copy to? I mean,
I already did. I already did. I gave it to Jake D. But I was going to say, all of a sudden, I'm looking at it going, I'm having a Gundam moment here. Now I have two packages. Two bags of packaged tuna.
I have two bags of packaged tuna.
Yes. So no, I love this movie, and I'm like, yes, I'm thrilled to have it. I'm thrilled to be here. This is a great one. Next person, Nick.
Marc D with a C.
So I don't remember when I saw this. If I saw this in theaters, this was I graduated in June of '86. So God, that's that long ago now. That was high school. Crap. But I went to see Aliens. I remember seeing Aliens because my buddy Larry still owes me money for him and his date. At the movie, he's like, "Can you cover me? I'm out of cash." But just kidding, Larry, if he's watching. But yeah, and then I think like someone else was saying, I can't remember who it was. Like I think I caught it just flipping through the channels. I think I caught the end of the kind of the end of the movie. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? This is awesome. So I can't remember if I watched it on VHS or rented it or I'm trying to but it's just one of those classic movies you can just put on and watch with your buddies and drink a few beers. And, if you're hanging out, it's like one of those movies where, with all the great quotes. And
sounds like you made it a blockbuster night.
Yeah, you make it like a blockbuster night. And or on our, it was 222 video, $2.22 a random video, a VHS tape. And you just, drink a little bit. And then this movie was, I can see why it didn't do well. I mean, it could have done a lot better if, it was marketed correctly, but, up against aliens and, it was just such a crazy movie. But and he's not really the hero in the movie too. I mean, his buddy's the hero. So, which is the funny thing, like he thinks he's the big, you go in, you think he's going to be like this big badass Rambo type character when you first watch it. And I watched the movie twice today. I actually watched it, at night, and then I watched it. They just had it rolling during work all day, just in the background. Nice. and he doesn't, like, he thinks he's, you think he's gonna be like this, because the 80s was Arnold. We watched some of those movies on this, like Arnold and Rambo, and these great heroes, and he's really not a great fighter.
Ass kicked through
a lot.
And this is what is when they say, they look back now and go, toxic white male lead in an Asian movie, how terrible. He gets his ass kicked throughout the entire film.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
Wong
not like he's not
fighter.
like I'm better than all you guys.
Charming.
Yeah.
Well, like what I was saying in the back is they're actually using it as like an example of subverting the straight white male, savior trope in movies. Like, oh no, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't know what it was happening. Yeah, like his context is lost on him.
You're exactly right. Yeah, he's the fish out of water. He's entering their world, and then and when I watch it, like I said, I think I caught it at the end. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is another planet. This is Then you find out it's under Chinatown, all these tunnels, and then Kim Cattrall too. I mean, you forget how gorgeous she was too. I mean, you turn she's that classic, blonde, smoking hot. We'll get a little toxic here. When he's got the truck that says, hauling ass on the truck. Can you still have that in your trucks today? On the front of your truck?
Blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blonde. Yeah.
Pretty blonde.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
She was born in Liverpool in England.
Oh, she is, yeah?
Yeah, she was born in Liverpool, brought up in Canada.
I didn't get to see her teeth. I would have known that if I would have.
That's right. That's Liverpool.
I think she's had work done, Matt.
Yeah, she visited but she's gorgeous. And the women are gorgeous in this movie. And Kurt Russell is rocking those moccasins, right? Those boots, right? that knife. And I was just watching something tonight. That was his idea to get those boots custom made. So he added that to the movie. But his character is kind of like this, goofy, kind of goofy character, but he's like a lovable guy, and then someone you can count on, and it's just a great combination there.
Don't you think it's interesting that he starts out with this swaggering, confident truck driver, and yet he plays the nerd behind you in that screen. He switches into that nerd so easily, drops the swagger, and becomes all like, like Jack does that.
And then what was he doing in
the phone? But him walking in with the phone, like, I work for the phone company, obviously.
Because I hold the phone.
And what was he doing in the brothel after he couldn't get with the right woman? I guess he's just going to interview each woman and go down the row until he found the woman with green eyes.
So what do you all do for fun around here? Or words to that. It was, when people arrive and the others leave, and he's how can I spin this out?
So he got saved by the by the explosion. Yeah. And the action's over the top. The special effects aren't, great, but for the time, I thought they were good. And today maybe like the younger generation will kind of laugh at, like the Bigfoot type character, but it's it's all fun stuff and part of
that thing came out of nowhere.
Oh,
I had forgotten all about that guy, and then I see the yellow eyes. I'm like, yellow eyes. I'm like, oh, whatever. And then I see the furry hand. I'm like, oh, yeah, this movie has a whole nother level of cuckoo bananas that he hasn't gotten to yet. Like it's
I'm like, what is happening here? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
Isn't there a line what's the line where he says something like, was it Grace says something like, why didn't you use a gun or a knife? He says that thing was 12 foot tall.
Talking about Lopan, I said, what? She said he's 12 feet tall. He's 7.
Yeah.
He's only 7 feet tall. Yeah. No problem.
Aren't you even gonna kiss her goodbye? Nope.
I loved it. I loved that part. Yeah. Was this before or after Empire?
That was the end.
It was
When Empire Strikes
very
Back was
end.
1980.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay, so
yeah.
this was after. Okay, because
Yeah,
it
kinda like that
reminded me
line.
of that Han Solo, you know.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me
my
what's the line? Yeah, tell me that you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
and
you.
that's- And by the way,
I know.
by the way,
I know.
leading up to that note was a great shot because you're looking over Jack Burton's shoulder at Kim Cattrall's character, and she leans towards him just a little bit and takes a deep breath, and he just says, "Nope,
Nope.
Yeah, she's getting ready for the big kiss there. Looked like she kind of put her
Yep.
shoulders back and she
Yeah.
her head up a little bit. You know, like I'm
kissed
waiting for you.
He already kissed her a couple of times at least, but yeah.
Oh, especially that first time when they fell down through all that stuff, he just went for the move. And she's just like, what type of thing? Like, oh, dude, that was like, oh, that's so toxic.
I
love it.
appreciate his nope so much because he's playing the long con because he knows like he's on the schedule. He's gonna have to deliver more stuff there, and when he comes back, oh boy, she's gonna be ready. He's his thinker.
absolutely."
Well, that's what his line. This is his line. I'm trying to look for. But he's like, "Stop rubbing up next to me. It's it's making it tough to concentrate."
That's right.
One of the times together, yeah. And of course, he's got to like take his jacket off too, right? When the second he goes to the, he's got to get show off the big guns or whatever,
Oh.
So
I was reading this article and it was doing the whole subverting white male blah blah blah, right? And one point that there was one scene that it touched on was where after he defeats Long Ping and like he has a lipstick on or whatever, and she comes up and wipes it, and they're like, see, even after the hero, blah blah blah, she comes up, and what you expect is for him to get the girl, but instead he's treated like a child and cleaned his face. I'm like, what the fuck movie were y'all watching? That
yeah.
Let me guess. Whoever
Yeah,
wrote this
they
was
were-
like 21 years old or something.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was from man, what's the one that has all the like 5 reasons why blah 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 is great and 5 reasons
Rant.
why.
Oh,
Yep.
it's probably
Screen Rant.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
CBR,
it's from.
Screen Rant.
Yeah, it was one of those.
It's like a BuzzFeed article.
Idiots. Yeah.
5 reasons why Screen Rant sucks.
If
That
they
should be
paid
the
You only
main
need
article.
one.
if the idiot that wrote that had paid attention to the movie, they would have noticed that there weren't a lot of mirrors. So it's not as though Jack would have noticed that his face was covered in lipstick.
There we go.
Yeah.
And I love that they didn't go for easy jokes either. Like they could have made a joke about that. Like Luke Payne would have been like, "Aha, you think you'll compete?" I probably shouldn't do that. Hold on, I had my doubts halfway through that one, but no, he's like, "You think you're gonna edit that out, Kip?" Anyways, you think you're gonna beat me with lipstick on you, girl? You know what I mean? Like they didn't even bother.
like an
they didn't
MCU
even address it. No,
Like
like
the
in the
MCU
movie, they didn't even
wisecracks.
address it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
The
Kim
MCU
Cattrall,
have
she
been
just
some
wipes it off,
joke
wipes the
and joke
makeup
about
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a
I
joke
wanna-
for us, though. We're laughing, like, could you see Rambo in a movie with, lipstick on like that?
Oh, back then, no. Like, it's crazy because, like, have you ever heard about The Rock and Vin Diesel? They have, like, in their contracts, they can't be beaten or they can only take so many punches, right?
That's ridiculous.
Did they
It's
really?
true.
Yes.
True. In their contract, they have it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Anyway, but like, could you imagine one of them in Fast and the Furious? Like, imagine Vin Diesel ever saying like, "No, I'll be the butt of a joke." Never. And I think that's what makes like movies like this so great, and guys like Kurt Russell that just put themselves out there, and it makes them so much more appealing than Vin Diesel, who's 4'11", but like
I think she's 12 feet tall. Yeah.
he's just like
She's 12.
pump
Wait, Matt,
full,
you didn't
pump
just
full of
believe
The real low
testosterone.
pan. He's a
You
low
didn't believe
pan.
that after that big jet crash?
Them is fighting words.
Matt,
No,
wait,
like
Matt, I can't
50%
believe
of
it.
his weight
Matt, I
comes
know
from
you could believe
testosterone.
that Vin Diesel walked through the JP5 around that burning jet after he crashed his car through the front of it. I know you come on, wasn't that totally believable?
Bro, I don't know
See
how
it
they
every day.
lived through the opening credits of that movie, let alone 1 fucking second of anything that happened in that movie.
But speaking of driving, which we weren't, but speaking of driving, don't you think that Jack Burton is the world's most overconfident driver, because in that entire movie, he doesn't once look at the road. He never looks at the road.
No,
He's
No, it's
looking
all
at the
about the
photograph, and then he's talking
Yeah.
to the guy next to him, and then he's down looking at the CD, and then he never looks at the road once, but never
Doesn't need
hits
to.
anything.
It doesn't
He never-
crash.
He's so
but he
confident.
never drives faster than he can see.
Yes, that's true. It's all in the
well, there's that
reflexes. It's in
part.
the reflexes. Yeah.
I want to add in real quick.
He's
and
been in
I'll
a
let you
ton.
guys carry on. Mr. Tickle Trunk earlier brought up about like how this movie age one. I agree. Like you look at a lot of the suits still looks cool, and just like look at the movie. Obviously, if you take out the CGI, like just the look of it cinematography wise, it still looks cool. It still looks like a very unique environment and very John Carpenter-ish too. But yet it stands on its own from the other flips. So that's like. It's like if you're a Carpenter fan, you know it's his style, but at the same time, it still stands out from everything else he's done. So it's a very distinct product. So I feel like age has done many favors in that regard. Sure, there's some obvious parts with the lighting, you can tell it's fake, but a lot of like the moves and such, I'd argue that a lot of it looks a lot better than it does now by like a landslide.
I think that like the cheesiness of the special effects actually helps it now.
Oh, it totally does.
It makes it more endearing.
It does.
Yes.
Oh,
And
shit.
it's as a guy that is watches bad movies all the time on my channel.
You do? Wow.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
We've seen all of Neil Britton movies. We have gone through his entire catalog. If you don't know who he is, do yourself the favor and look him up. Anyway, so like there's a line that we always talk about how like if you try to intentionally make a bad movie, it's gonna fail because you can't do it. You have to have heart to it, right?
Oh
Now,
yeah.
There's
That's
another
what happened
side
to the producers, right?
Yeah, and what's his name from The Room? Tommy Wiseau. Like once that movie hit big, they were like, "Oh, dude, do more." And he was like, "Okay, I will do this, and it will be fun," you know. And but he did, but it was horrible because he doesn't get what made it
Became
great.
self-conscious. Yeah.
So there's a line
Self-conscious.
that John Carpenter is always kind of writing to where like if he just takes one step, too far, it's going to go into bad movie territory. But he's able to do it to where like he never goes past that line. He always knows where that line of absurdity is for it to stay a truly good movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it
Yes.
bleeds over into the acting sometimes. I mean, there's points in the film where I think you can almost see Kurt Russell acting, but I think that's because John Carpenter is saying to him, blow this up a bit,
Yeah.
Be a bit over the top, be a bit outrageous with it, chew the scenery a bit. Why not, And it's great. I mean, it doesn't look hammy. It just looks he's enthusiastic and he's going for it, and I think it works.
Oh, it totally does. Once again, Kurt Russell, he adds so much charm. And the fact that usually when you have the guy who's a charmer and has the quotable lines, they have everything. They can kick all the ass too, but seeing him not be, that's the one thing he can't do at all. He has his moments of shine, but overall, Wang being Wang, like
Wang's a
especially
hero,
Wang with the flips. How many flips did he do in this movie? I thought, I'm like, man, it's a good thing I didn't take, like,
237 and a
no,
half.
literally.
I don't fucking know.
I thought
So
you.
the
I can't see you
235.
counting.
You're fired. Counted, yeah.
It's there. Click, 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 click. click.
And that's,
When you can fake
Flip
sincerity, you got it made.
Yeah,
I think that's what
I
separates
agree.
this from the other toxic movies we've been doing, though, is that it's not actually that much of a toxic macho action movie. Just because Jack keeps getting his ass kicked, it's a lot more humor.
Yeah.
The action is there, but it's not a Commando. It's not a Predator. It's nothing like those.
Yeah,
Still,
you're not going to
toxic.
see Steven Seagal like have a guy
No.
fall on him and
No.
pin him to the ground for the rest of the fight.
That's
Which
right.
was my favorite moment because it's so real and
Saved his
unexpected.
life. Saved his
Exactly.
life.
Because it actually subverts your expectations of when a guy lands on you. Like you're like, oh, I just push him off, and he's like, oh shit,
400
and he's
pounds.
just like, pinned, he's weighed
With the
down.
armor.
And you're like, that's right. That's what would happen in the
That's
real
so
world.
invested.
Yeah.
Wayne doesn't jump. The room moves around him.
That's what they would do now. That's the way they would do it now.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jackie doesn't even know how to reload his gun. It's like he gets picked up.
He
with
doesn't
the
need
gun.
to.
Yeah, well, it never runs up. But one time he ran out of bullets, right? But he's looking like, what do I do with this thing? Yeah.
I think there was a good point made there about the guy falling on him saves his life. Just like he gets tripped in the airport, it saves his life. Everything saves his life. You know,
Wait,
which
hold on. I like where you're going with this. Are you saying that he may be like the nephew of God? Or like someone like someone's looking. I'm not gonna say Jesus. He's not the son, but like he has like some like because he's being protected
second
by
cousin, I think.
He has a
cousin.
guardian. He has a guardian angel throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
right. Like Jack's gonna just falls, let some shit fall, knock him out. He'll be fine. Let him up. Like always protecting him from
saves
getting
him from
too
himself.
much.
He's protected. He's a lucky man. He's a very lucky man. Yeah,
they keep him from getting into big trouble.
that's right.
Big? How big? How big in trouble?
His truck is lucky too.
China
because
size?
Oh my god!
look at that scene in the yard at the beginning, and not one scratch in his truck.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
there's
right?
hundreds of bullets flying everywhere. There's people jumping around. There's bombs going off. There's lightning.
Yeah.
His truck is untouched.
Yeah.
Well, most
Lucky
trucks are bulletproof too. That's the one thing that drives me crazy about movies. You watch Mythbusters and they show like a 22 going through a door, and then the guy opens up with an AK on the bus. Of course, that's all
right.
movies, but
Yeah, the
just
tour,
like nothing
the tour
happens.
bus
Tour bus, yeah.
drove me insane because like there's just bullets because all on the side. I'm like, well, they're all dead.
Dead, yeah.
Like nothing. But also him. This is just me though. It's like a military thing, but like him holding just on the trigger the whole time. I'm like, okay, I'll let it go. But him using it to point at people, like, all right, you're gonna go over here, and just constantly pointing it at people. I'm like, oh my. Well, it's empty. So
Okay, now you'll forgive when Jack walks in the room, right? When they're trying to stop the stabbing from happening, and he shoots, and then the rocks are falling right down on him.
He's a lucky guy.
I mean, it feels it was all part of what's his name, dude? Tang.
Wang?
No,
from the
Wang.
MCU. No, from the
Oh,
MCU.
Wong.
King. No, it's all King's
King
part of
the
King's.
Conqueror.
It
Kang
had
the
to.
Conqueror?
Yeah, or he would have got
Talk about
melted.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, he would have got melted.
Fallon, yeah.
Well, whatever. Watch Loki.
No.
No, actually,
No.
don't watch Loki.
No.
No. It's okay. You'll be fine.
That's
Alligator
debatable.
Loki makes the
Thanos
whole-
one.
Just watch the Alligator Loki one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Only one
But-
you need, maybe. Anyways, let's talk about Big Trouble a little time some more. So, okay. I'm going to ask now, the moves, once again, not just the dialogue, but the moves that Jack has towards Gracie Law. Gracie Law is her name. Like, as Matt was saying, he's playing the long game, and dude, some of this dialogue, it makes you wonder, like, was that, like, how much of that was scripted, or was that just Kurt Russell, like, being Kurt Russell, just going with the flow? Because there's some of these, once again, we've all said how quotable this movie was, but just some of these lines are just, they're so good. It makes you think, do you just come up with that on the spot? It makes me wonder how much of it was planned.
Kurt Russell's a charismatic motherfucker. Like, let's be honest. Like,
That's true. That's
but
true.
he had a very interesting life too. If you have, there's a documentary called "The Battered Bastards of Baseball" on Netflix.
That's a great.
It's an amazing documentary about him playing minor league baseball and his dad owned a team or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a great documentary. But yeah, he had a very unique upbringing, even though he was brought up like through Disney or whatever. And he always like tried to keep kids away from that scene, and he would try to help them out of there. Like, just.
Well, his father was an actor, Bing Russell, and he was as a kid he was on Lost in Space. He was on a bunch of older shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He also has this crazy sense of humor. Have you ever heard him sit for one of the video commentaries? One of my favorite films he did was Used Cars, which was hilarious. He was brilliant in it. The commentary. He and Robert Zemeckis, the whole time, Kurt Russell just didn't care about the movie, just laughing his ass off, making jokes. Doesn't care. It's just hilarious. Interesting dude. Great dude.
There's a guy you have to imagine you would want to hang out with, and you would not be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
You would not be disappointed.
What? No, I'm with him on this one. Walk away. Women are nothing but trouble, and not worth it. It also reminded me of Howard the Duck. Hear me out.
I'm hearing you out.
All right,
You got
hear me
my
out.
attention.
Have we a choice?
No, I'm the co-host. This is it's privilege. It's co-host privilege. Anyway, so when what's her name in the movie from fucking everything from Back to the Future? What's her name?
Yeah.
Oh,
plays
Lorraine.
Beverly. She plays
Lorraine.
Beverly in the film, but
Yeah. So she's like, they're in bed and she's like all flirting with him, and and he's like, going to sleep now, right? That kind of reminded me of that, because like, you know what I mean? Like he's all like bravado and like, yeah, baby, like check out my condom. It has a hoop in it or whatever. And I don't know if that's from the movie, but you get it. Anyway, it kind of reminded me of Jack. Jack's been, hitting on her like that comment said the whole time at the end. He's like, no. Now that I can actually have you, I don't want you. Does that make sense? There's some deep stuff there where you always want what you can't have, and then when you get it, it's either utterly disappointing or Anyway, so sorry, kind of brought it down.
It's like you lost yourself
what you
on
can't
that.
get, yeah.
Well, no,
like,
I knew where the
nice
thread was
finish.
going. I decided not to continue because
You
then we're going to
decide
get
not
into
to
a whole
stick
bunch
the
of
land in there.
philosophy. Yeah. It's fine.
He bailed out of that one. He didn't
I
stick
did.
it landing.
Can we add
Eject.
how awesome a lot of the monsters look? I don't think a lot of like it's cool because like not many people like associate martial arts, Chinese culture, and monsters and supernatural and magic, mysticism, and Kurt Russell, because Kurt Russell's a genre in itself. The fact that like I want you come up with that story like, all right, what's your script? Kurt Russell, magic, martial arts, monsters. Like, hold on, what?
But there was a tradition in the Chinese stories, ancient Chinese stories, like the water margin I was talking about earlier, which had a lot of supernatural element to them, a lot of monsters, a lot of fantasy element, not just the martial arts. So some of these core Chinese myths have got a lot of that in them. So maybe, I don't know if the writer borrowed from that, actually took from those, or
Real quick, Oscar Wilde said the only thing worse than not getting what you want is to get it. So
he also said many other things.
I like Oscar Wilde said some pretty good stuff, man.
Your Majesty is like a stream of bat's piss. Sorry, that's Monty Python.
it's just like that.
Hi, Fadi. Basil's Leo. Yes. All right, we got another guy in here who's
leave him back there.
Late.
He's been there. He's been back there this whole time. Leave him back there. It's fine.
No, bring him in and then drop him out again immediately.
All right, let me bring him in and then drop him back out. Okay.
There we go.
Hey, he said no frogs tonight.
I'm not a frog.
He's a Thor frog.
Speaking of explosions of green gas. Speaking of
he's a chode. I mean, Jed.
Toad, yeah.
Chode.
Hell, Jed.
Hey, Jed.
Brother. Hey, guys.
Hi, another monster. I see you all up in there. Oh, he's not just late. He's very late.
Yeah, I know. I had to take care of a few things, so.
Likely story.
So let's hear about this.
Hello.
What is your mom? What does your mom do in the summer of 1986? Let's go.
Being a whore like she always is, you know. Yeah.
Who's on tour?
Oh man, leave it alone.
Who's on tour?
Being a whore like
Well, I guess Jed. Why don't you tell us about your what's it called? Big Trouble in Little China life experiences without the whore.
Well, hey, Steven. Well, yeah, that was one of the movies, like, she didn't want me to go see for some reason, and I was like, well, you let me go see Stripes, and that had tits and ass all over the place.
Yeah, this was PG-13.
Yeah.
There was no scene on the oven in this movie, right?
Yeah.
If you're referring to Stripes, right? Yep.
Yeah,
the spatula scene.
The spatula scene, the shower scene, and everything else, and I was like, wait, you let me go see Stripes, but you won't. There's some dark stuff, and I was like, dude, you took me to see Life Force, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Saturday the 14th for a quadruple feature one night. When it came open, what is your bloody problem? And maybe she was on the rag or something.
Well, maybe she saw that monster on my background here. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Jed, let's get to the flick.
Okay, but yeah, dude, this is one of my
Before
favorite
2022.
Yeah, well, hopefully he has a better year. But on another thing, this is one of my favorite Carpenter movies because it's just you have the lore and everything else. I just love this movie, man, and I watched it again today.
Nice.
Because he's like, because he was trying to do a little bit of John Wayne because he always said
very
he
much so.
Yeah, he wanted him to like be a little bit John Wayne partner, you know what Jack Burton always says, he's playing it up on purpose. Yeah, especially in the beginning, and then when he's the hero, but he's the bumbling hero because he goes to shoot and they grab it, smash his gun, and then a big guy comes at the end where he's like put in the store and he's like, I can't get him off. I'm like, it's like, but then the
Jack
other
always says, "What the hell? What the hell?"
What was that?
So good.
Yeah, I just love it. It's a fun movie, and there's guys and girls beating up on each other in the movie because there was the gang people. You won't see that nowadays.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Was your favorite part the same as mine when Wang kicked that chick in the face?
Dude, that was one of the best parts. He's like, "What's up?"
Do that.
She went flying, and
so great. Love seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're mad. I'm glad that you brought that up. I want to ask now to further that.
Sure.
Let's all put it under two things that would not fly in current modern day. So you already did one. So name another thing that happened in this movie that would not fly today. We'll have everyone go around. We'll name
90% of it.
Yeah, I mean, just like every character that wasn't Jack in this movie, because they were all stereotypes, but on purpose. Like they were purposefully made that way. Like none of that would be even like this is referenced during the press stuff for the Shang-Chi. Yeah, that movie, right? Like I am not one to comment on these movies because these pronunciations. Anyways,
yeah.
Oh man, so specifically, maybe the wedding part, like the marriage part, right? That may not fly.
A lot of things would fly.
Yeah, a lot of things in that movie wouldn't fly.
I just want us all for conversation's sake, because seriously, there's so many things in this movie. It's just like you could pick them all day. So, hey, Bryce Day, I seen you. Pronoun station.
Yeah. You got that. I was wondering if anybody's gonna catch that mispronounced pronunciation.
Hey, Darius Munchausen, what's up, dude? What's up, Robert? Go ahead.
The fact that Jack and Wang and these guys rescue the women from the prison thing, that wouldn't fly.
And the fact that
men rescuing women, no way.
What happened? That can't happen. That's not even possible, Clobber. What are you talking about? You do better. Do better.
The fact that all these girls where Henry Swanson goes to get, they're all Chinese. And they're all running a brothel. It's all a brothel. Yeah, I mean that wouldn't.
And not one black Chinese person in this movie.
There's that. Yeah. Yes. This so-called remake that they've been talking about with the Dwayne Johnson. Their guy that was tagged as the writer of that movie said, "Well, if we're doing it, we're going to make it much less racist than the original." What's racist about the original?
I'm even going to see your film.
What's racist about it?
Well, that's what.
That's in my mind.
I didn't know that when I was playing D&D as a kid. I was, pleased to learn years later that it was racist, and I was racist for playing D&D. So I didn't realize that. But one thing I thought, the truck, hauling ass I mentioned before. Would you have a lead character with a hauling ass truck right now? That's not going to happen, right? That'll be toned down or taken out, or it'll say,
Jack Burton will be a female.
Wait a minute, Mark. Are you telling us? Were you telling us that you were an oppressor of kobolds?
I did, yeah. Kobolds, orcs. And I always played as a dwarf too. A dwarf was my favorite character.
It's even worse.
Yep. Jack
They
Burton,
never-
by the way, that character would still be in movies today, except for the ending where he like has that
Yes.
moment, that heroic moment. That will be cut out completely.
Yeah,
Oh,
they would
yeah.
Never
They
have
would
that
never
moment.
gender
Yes.
swap Jack Burton because he loses in every other situation. So
Right.
they could not make that a woman because she has to
Yeah,
be the
true. They
bestest
probably
ever.
give her
What?
some
Yeah.
different name.
He,
Yeah.
wa- he
Could
was
just be the best of
basically
them are,
the
that's all.
hero, but still the comic relief at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just have to be the
Audience
best of
character.
them are, and they,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let
Two
him.
things-
They wouldn't let him bumble or anything like that. But,
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
the two things that could not fly today to me were one, Gracie Law's character, the way she's written would not work at all.
Yeah,
That
that's
she
true.
actually falls for Jack. Oh no, that
Yep.
can't happen. And,
Yeah.
and at the end, that as we've talked about, that oh, are you gonna kiss me? And he's like, nope. Yeah, that might they have to gender swap that to make that work. And the other one is a pair of lines that we've heard one of many times from one of our a well-known YouTuber. Wang says, "Here's to the Army and Navy and the battles they have won. Here's to America's colors, the colors that never run." And Jax replies, "May the wings of liberty never lose a feather."
Oh, yeah. That
Forget
wouldn't
about
be.
that being
Yeah,
in there, yeah.
that wouldn't be in there today.
Yeah.
No, Red Shirt. That's
No.
right.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
Um,
in there.
Now,
Roots.
now it would be called Big China Has Little Trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it wouldn't even be called Big Trouble in Little China at all. They couldn't say China. Have
They would
China
have
in the
to-
title.
It would have to switch it to Little North Korea, like they did in what's the Wolverines movie? Red Dawn, yeah.
The Red Dawn remake, exactly. And
Yeah.
actually, Top Gun, the sequel to Top Gun, Tom Cruise has a flag of Taiwan on his jacket in
Yeah.
the original movie, and the Chinese censor said
God.
you had to take it off. And of course, look at Shang-Chi hasn't even opened in China now, so
It's not going
That-
to.
and it's not going to. But yeah, so it's like just
Isn't
stop,
that
you
a
know,
shame?
It's a shame, but yeah, we just make our movies, and why do we worry about a country that censors their own people? But it's a story for
I
another
wonder
night. But,
how
Yep.
popular this movie was when it was originally released. If it was even shown in China, of course, probably it would have been shown in Hong Kong. There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
But-
sure it was shown in Hong Kong
Yeah,
because
but
Wire
mainland
Fu
China?
came from there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Marby
No.
Dog. Yeah.
And it
Um,
was meant to be Hong Kong Chinese that were
Yeah.
coming in and were in the
Mhm.
Chinatown.
hmm
So yeah, it
well, let
must
me
have been-
check box office mojo and see. Yep. But probably very
Bruce.
little.
What would not fly in this movie today?
Well, I don't think Jack Burton would actually be a male. I think Jack Burton, with all the proficiency that they had with him driving a truck, like whenever there's a part in the movie where Wang says, turn right here, and you guys get a chance. Some of you might have never seen this in real life, but a bobcat or a bobtail semi-truck will definitely do a fishtail. It will
Uh-huh.
definitely do a fishtail.
Actually, a bobtail will stand on its nose if you brake in a straight line
Mm.
hard
Yes.
enough.
Oh yeah, I've always said that.
Yeah.
So you have that, and you have the fact that Jack is really good at certain things. But I don't think that they would make Jack Burton a male character in today's day and age. I think The Rock is setting himself up to be a bit character in a remake if they make it. God, I hope they don't.
Actually,
But-
the truck would never turn right now. It would only ever turn left.
Wait, so would like Wayne be like gender swapped and like she's yelling like, "What are you doing turning right? That's racist."
That's right. Yeah.
And they would turn Gracie into a guy.
They would have
Yeah, Gracie.
a romantic.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jed. No, that's
they,
a good
they
one.
would,
Yeah,
they would
Gracie would be the
totally
guy's
switch.
role.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Gracie would probably even be the Kurt Russell equivalent. Yeah, except Kurt Russell would not be Kurt Russell. He'd be
And they would have Margot, the reporter, the naive reporter chick. They would have her be the lesbian interest.
Yeah.
But then
Mm.
you forget about her. I didn't.
I did.
She'd be a lesbian, and her and Jack Burton would share a couple smooches in the movie. But then all of a sudden, here comes the reporter and the Gracie Law, and all of a sudden it turns into a three-way dominant thing, and we forget about the film because most of us be either watching this with intense speculation, are they going to do this right? or like, no, skip this part. The
I-
lesbian scene's done wrong.
The only way
yeah.
that they would switch the gender for Jack Burton is if he no longer bumbles around and stuff.
Yeah.
If he just hits everything perfect,
He'd be
know what I
perfect.
mean?
You're right.
It would be
Yeah,
hard.
you're right.
Mush.
But
only way they would
Jack
do it.
was never perfect.
Right.
He
Exactly.
was
The
the comedic
best
and
as
the
ever.
hero at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
That's
the
why I
fastest
think
ever.
they would switch Wang. They would gender swap Wang before they would do
Right.
Jack,
No, I think
and
they
then
push Wang
Jack
and
would
Jack
just-
into one person.
Well,
I
Wayne was a
don't-
badass because he was with those swords at the end, just tearing people up, man.
and he kicked that chick in the face.
they
We
did
all
that.
get
yeah,
that.
That's
dude, that was awesome. He just like,
Well, they had
Yeah,
that
you-
potion that
that
gave
would
them.
never happen there either. That would
They
never
had that
happen.
potion that gave them superpowers. So.
Yeah, it's like demon bag.
Oh, by you mentioned Margot. I didn't realize until recently that was Richard Burton's daughter, Kate Burton, that played
Yep.
Margot.
Wow.
So, Richard
You know what?
Burton, that was his
What
daughter.
fly in this flick? The villains, they would have to be sympathetic or portrayed in a way to make them seem like they had it
They were-
hard, or
Yeah,
they came from
for-
some oppression or
Indeed.
patriarchy.
They
You
would
know,
never-
it would
Yeah.
be from that angle. It absolutely would be that.
Yeah, and everyone else would have to do better.
Yeah. It would have to be realistic. Why is there's monsters, and why are they affiliated with Chinese and martial arts and some guy named Jack Burton? Like that's way out of line. That's too crazy. That story makes zero sense. You got to be realistic in the
I don't
realism
think it'd be
age.
Big Trouble in
I
Little
got it.
China.
I got it. I know what it is. They're gonna Corella the movie. So they're gonna take Lou Payne, right? And they're gonna tell his backstory and how he is this victim because he was cursed by this emperor for falling in love with this woman he wasn't supposed to, or
Man
falling in love with this
Fuju.
man that he wasn't supposed to. You know what I mean?
Man,
And it'll be a Corella
Man
type movie.
Fuchu.
man, stop giving them ideas.
Yeah, I
you're
think
right.
you just
they're
let it
gonna
off the
get, they're
fly.
gonna come up with ideas anyway.
After you. Yeah.
I
Well,
was just going to go down a path.
I just checked Box Office Mojo, and actually, it only is released domestically 11.1 million, and in New Zealand, it played at like a festival, it made $577. So according to Box Office Mojo,
Yeah, but
it never
there's
played
only,
in Hong Kong or
there's
anywhere
only
else.
4 people and 500 sheep in New Zealand. So
Yeah,
that's,
so
that was
I'm
before.
like looking like $577 in New
it's before
Zealand.
all the hobbits
Like
moved.
what?
In.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they would turn the entire Chinese angle, and they wouldn't even make it Big Trouble in Little China. It'd be like Big Trouble in
Asian American diverse.
You couldn't do that.
White
No,
supremacist.
it'd be Big Trouble in like Switzerland or something. You can't have it.
Or
be
no,
like
it's
Big Trouble in China. I mean, you can't
Big
do
Trouble,
that.
Big Trouble in Little Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
They'd make them all skinhead bad guys. That way, you don't feel bad about any of these guys buying it at all. You're actually cheering it on.
Mhm.
You know,
You know what?
and they would turn it into that. They could not make this movie today. You can't
No, they
have the
can't.
Chinese portrayed like this.
Nope.
This
could
will
do the
never get
Corella
into
one.
Hollywood.
Yeah, that's another thing that would happen today. This movie would not, even if you somehow did go out of your way to make a movie like this remake, and somehow it was end up somehow faithful, it would definitely not be released in China. It wouldn't happen.
Well, you know
China.
what? They could do what they like, but they can't change this one. It was made and it's perfect. So,
It is. I hope it never. Even if somehow movies today were like good and fun and like watchable, I would not want them still to remake this. I'm one of those guys where when you capture a good thing, just leave it alone. Like that's where I'm at. Yeah, just leave it alone. Do something to call your own. And also, we love Kurt Russell. Give him something else to do. He's Kurt Russell. He'll make something else shine.
By the way, I used to like really believe in like the whole like dude, it doesn't matter what they do, it can't change the original. But after Game of Thrones, the last couple of seasons, like that, I have no like motivation or no desire to go and watch the first few seasons of that show because I know how it ends.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Loki did basically the same thing for the MCU almost as a whole, you know?
So
And like they are finding ways to retroactively just kill different franchises and movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is why
we
I
could go
forgot
on and
about
on
the
on
rest
that.
of the movies.
Yeah.
This is why
So this-
Thanos won at the end of Ant-Man and Wasp. That's the last thing that happens in the MCU. The snap.
Oh yeah.
And that's it. That's all. There's no more movies. You
I
guys
thought
buying
this
Disney
was
Plus?
I thought this was Mad Dog from The Raid. I was like, oh shit, Mad Dog was in this
So
movie.
I've always loved the connection between this and Die Hard because of this guy, Al Leong. Al Leong.
Al
The
Leong, he was a
candy
lot of stuff.
stealing scene
And
in
Lethal
Die
Weapon.
Hard.
And Lethal
And
Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, yeah,
you're
amongst
right,
other
Clobberin.
things. But yeah, the Hatchet. He's in one of the Hatchet men in Big Trouble. But just everybody loves the candy stealing scene. I mean, it's so I always look out for him. I look out for him in both these movies because I just think he's fantastic.
There was a thing, and somebody said, and it was just a weird theory that it either took place after or before, and he was in both places within the same year or whatever. There was some crazy movie theory that somebody brought up that he was literally in both movies and it was the same character. It was some weird stuff, yeah.
Yeah, could have been because he hasn't got a name in Big Trouble. He's
didn't he
just
get killed in
Hatchet
it,
Man.
Hatchet
Right. Right.
Hard disagree.
I guess he didn't get killed, but he could have been.
Anyway.
He had a name in Lethal Weapon, so.
Yeah,
Do we know how this movie did as far as like when it went to like VHS? Was it the VHS that made it like the big talk, or was it like something that just happened over years and time? What was the thing that really made people talk about this movie? I'm curious because obviously when it came out, I've never looked into VHS. I came around the DVD age, and I remember people knowing about it when the DVD age was like it's prime. No, I heard people like the movie, but I know DVD was definitely not the reason.
I really don't know about the numbers, but anecdotally, I remember at the time in the VHS rental stores, you know what, you could judge when a movie was popular by how many copies were on the shelves. This one filled half of a whole section. It was just full copies of it.
70s at my place at the video store where I used to hang out with, we had 2 whole sections of just Big Trouble. They were all gone. Gone all the time.
This movie, when it hit VHS, began to generate word of mouth.
Yeah.
And that made it take off.
Yeah.
And it just grew from there. It became bigger and bigger and bigger, through DVD sales and so on.
Yes.
And it took off as soon as people, it had of course, because nobody went to see it, so they pulled it out of theaters fairly quickly, I suspect. I mean, look at that box office. I mean,
it wasn't in there for long.
They could have, if they had sold more popcorn, they could have doubled they could have doubled the take for the theaters. That was popcorn sale numbers. When this thing hit VHS, yes, it's just video stores started running out of it to rent it, so they ordered more, and that's how, like Jed said, you wound up with a whole half a section of a wall that was nothing but copies of Big Trouble in Little China. Because come the weekend, it would empty out. And it didn't take that long. Like I said, I think the whole problem for this film was simply non-existent marketing and no budget for marketing, and so nobody knew about it. I didn't know about it, and when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is just fantastic." So it didn't take long.
That poster's awesome too. When you walk in the video store, that poster's awesome. It just like grabs you, right? I mean, you catch that. You're like, I'm catching this movie. It's like, the old days, you'd be stuck in the video store, like with buddies, like, what are we gonna rent tonight? And after a half hour, you're like, just pick a couple of goddamn movies. Let's get out of here. Now at home, being like, you argue with the kids or whatever. What are we gonna watch on Netflix or whatever? It's like, it's like just pick it. So if you see a movie like this with the cover, like, sold, I gotta check out what the hell is happening with this movie.
Yeah, a movie like that.
Definition of cult hit.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm just saying this movie is the absolute definition of a cult movie. This movie. Right. It didn't find its voice in the theaters. Thank you, whoever. What was it? Universal. Fuck them. When they put it in the video rental stores, this movie started exploding. I remember seeing it at Stars and Stripes Video in Decatur, and there was not a single copy to be rented. And like you guys said, there's like 4 or 5 shelves of it that there's reserved for the cover, but we've got no copies of the VHS. So the movie got its breath really once it hit the video rentals and it took me like 2 years to finally see it in '88.
Wow.
So, yeah, like,
you had to really die down, Bruce.
Wow, dude. Yeah.
Well, you know what was great was having a buddy who worked at Blockbuster right after he got out of college. So he was like, "It's like, hey Brian, can we get this movie this weekend?" You know. So we're like, "Oh, that copy got returned and didn't make it back to the shelves." I mean, that was like a real problem. Kids of today, like not being able to watch a movie or rent a movie. Yeah.
I'm just going to say this about Decatur, Illinois. They first got their Olive Garden less than 10 years ago.
Are you serious? Wow.
That is a 80,000 person town, or was, and they just got an Olive Garden in 2010. Sad.
You know, it does happen in the world, Bruce. It really does. Yeah.
They've hit the big time now. Then I mean, it's all over now. They might as well stop now. I mean, it's all over.
Yeah, the Italian grandmother wouldn't want me eating at Olive Garden.
We didn't have Blockbuster until '92.
There's a town by me called Sycamore, and their newest thing is a Shell gas station. Everything else looks 30 years behind. Like it looks as extinct as Kmart does.
Do you have a Sinclair gas station?
Never heard.
Okay.
It probably went out of business.
I have.
Okay.
I've heard.
Those are old timers.
I mean, look, I grew up on a cattle ranch, so like, so far, like if you got home with less than a quarter tank of gas, you're not going to make it to the gas station before you run out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so I know all the like the small towns. Yeah. Believe me,
on the dirt road there. Yeah, I get it.
It's a long walk.
I thought you just used horses, Bad, to pull your vehicles there. Didn't you just have 2 horses?
Oh, Mad's family couldn't afford a horse that walked.
Wow. No,
Matt.
That horse was on
did
the
you hear
dinner
the ranch
table.
part? Like, no, we raised raised longhorns for a while. Did I ever tell you about El Retardo? So what happened was, my dad bought a bull from these people that raised it as a pet until it got, this thing was huge. It was a longhorn, and the horns were like, oh my God, like 4 feet long, right? Doesn't tell me, this is before we moved out there. We owned it, but we weren't living on the actual property then. Well, that said, because we owned like 400 acres here, but then the main was like 50. It doesn't matter anyway. So we got there because we were going to do some work or whatever, and I had to get out to open the gate. By the way, when I turned 16, he got an electronic gate. Anyways, so I opened the gate. He comes through. I hop back. Like the door's locked, and I look, and there's this bull charging at me full speed, and I'm like, "Hey, open the fucking door!" And he just looks at me laughing. So I jump in the back, and this thing just slides to a stop and tries to lick my hand like a dog. I'm about to have a fucking heart attack. My dad gets out laughing. He's like, "Yeah, that's El Retardo. He was raised as a pet." I'm like, what? These are things you could have told me.
I believe Mad enjoys being licked by a large bull.
Now Matt has a permanent heart condition, but other than that, he's okay, right?
Matt's favorite song is "Ride a Horse." Save it to Cowboy.
Matt is the arrhythmia under control these days.
No, but, like I was like, Dad, I think I'm having a heart attack.
I thought my dad was rough. God.
No, I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I think I'm having a heart attack. He goes, worth it. That's not even a thing yet.
Wow. Could you imagine if he had that on the iPhone back then, right?
Oh, man.
That'd be everywhere.
That TikTok video would have blown up.
I'm probably the one video I'd ever watch. All right, so Mr. Marc D with a C provided us with a wonderful, what looks to be informative article. We'll look at some excerpts and basically about how Big Trouble went from flop to phenomenon. So,
phenomenon.
Yes.
Say that 10 times quickly.
All right, I'll try it. On July 1st,
Because I can't.
1986, John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. His fourth collaboration with star Kurt Russell following Elvis, Escape from New York, and The Thing. Hit theaters. The film was and remains a lot of things. But a box office success was not one of them. Audiences who were more ready to accept traditional blockbusters like that summer's Aliens and Top Gun has no idea how to react to the film, which Carpenter referred to as action, adventure, comedy, kung fu, ghost story, monster movie. And so the $25 million investment from Fox became an oddity that left theaters before it had a chance to connect with the moviegoers, who eventually discovered its genre-smashing charms. Wow. Wow. And
Actually,
what's up?
sorry, there's a movie there I would really like to watch. Elvis Escape from New York. That would be a great movie. You just combine those. That'd be a fantastic movie. You know?
Right? I watched that.
Yeah, he turns around at the George Washington Bridge and says, "Thank you very much."
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Elvis has left the city.
Left the city. Anyway, carry on.
No. It's so good.
Well, there actually is that movie because there's Bubba Hotep. So
that's right.
That's true. Great movie.
Looks like this is an interesting one about this movie has the only trouble a film experienced before its theatrical release, including a race to get out before 86's rival ancient mysticism flick, Eddie Murphy's underrated The Golden Child, which I have not seen to this day.
Really? Oh, it's so
good.
I just watched it the other day again. So
it's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, nothing like this. This is so much better.
This is obviously bad, but it's
not it's better, but Golden Child's still funny too. So.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Survivable. But the most infamous example of production woes was studio tampering that attempted to alleviate the problem with its lead character, the intentionally non-heroic Jack Burton. Over the years, both Carpenter and Russell have often spoken of Burton's general ineptitude, mentioning how interesting it is that Big Trouble in Little China's ostensible sidekick Dennis Dunn's Wang Chi is the actual hero of the film, which
That's Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just
No, you're right.
No, it's Wang-Chi.
On the Blu-ray, Carpenter remarks that Byrne thinks he's a lot more capable, with Russell finding the same with the much more definitive. He's useless. Which, he's right.
Yeah, what studio produced this? No, Fox.
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 Explains so much.
This is a Fox product, dude.
Yeah, it does explain a lot.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy how this and Fox has had issues for a long time, like even prior to like the 2000s. Like they are always been weird with movies. They'll release good stuff, but they definitely have their issues with movies as far as making them.
Well, this is not even new for Fox. This isn't even new for Hollywood. The picture behind me about Bully for Bugs has a funny story behind it. It grew out of the fact that the original producer of Warner Brothers cartoons, Leon Schlesinger, finally decided he was done, sold the production studio to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers put one of their executives in, Eddie Seltzer, and he became the new producer of Warner Brothers cartoons. And one day, Eddie knew nothing about cartoons, apparently knew nothing about humor. Apparently the man had no sense of humor whatsoever. I mean, perhaps had been surgically removed. But he was walking through the building one day. Chuck Jones and his writer, Michael Maltese, were in one of the rooms where they normally did storyboarding. Mm-hmm. And they were just discussing an idea for a new cartoon, when Eddie suddenly stepped into the doorway and said, out of nowhere, no hello, anything, just said, "I don't ever want to see a movie about bullfighting. There's nothing funny about bullfighting." And then proceeded to continue down the hall. Mm-hmm. And when they both recovered from their shock at this bizarre interruption, Michael Maltese, the writer, who was a very funny guy from New York, looked at Chuck and said, "Well, I guess we have to do a movie about bullfighting now. Because Eddie's never been right about anything." And that cartoon was the result. That's a bullfighting cartoon. It's hysterical, and it's because Eddie Seltzer said, "I don't ever want to see a movie about a cartoon about bullfighting."
All right, what do you got here, 70?
So this is an interview with James Hong, who of course was David Lopan, which I still think is a great name for a sandwich shop. But so he said, and this kind of speaks to what we're saying about Fox. Hong is understandably unhappy over the treatment of the film and defends Kurt Russell's performance. The critics tore him to bits, which hurt him a lot because he gave it his all. And I think you could see that when he was making it. You could see Kurt was giving it everything. Only the fans loved it. The critics were too highbrow. They just didn't get it. Fox did not push that film enough. People just had to
Absolutely.
discover that movie as time went on. They basically abandoned it, and it just was left to. So that's from James Hong himself, you know. And this is actually a really good.
No,
good,
that's a
good
really
article.
important piece. I'm glad that you brought that to our
Yeah,
attention. It makes you wonder, like, what other, like, you know, obviously there are gooder. There's I said gooder. There are
Gooder.
good movies that come out nowadays.
Gooder and
Better movies that
bestest.
come out nowadays. Obviously, they're few and far between. It's more of like it's not what's put in front of me. You actually gotta like actually seek it out. But it makes you wonder, like, what other hidden gems could be out there that could maybe be of this caliber. Maybe not
Well,
like in terms of like tonality, but in terms of greatness. Like, what is out there that could be a Big Trouble in Little China, like, unique film of greatness?
I keep telling you guys these. Anything by Craig C. Zoller, right? Like you have Bone Tomahawk, which is a Western with Kurt Russell, and it is fucking amazing. It came out in 2015 along with Hateful Eight, which is another great movie with Kurt Russell, but it is the better Western, in my opinion. It's the better Western in the better Kurt Russell movie is Bone Tomahawk. You have Benny Loves You, which is a hilarious British, I know, but it's great. Hilarious movie. And then you have The Art of Self-Defense with his the guy that's the superior Lex Luthor and the in Zack Snyder's movies. What's his name?
Oh God, Jesse Eisenberg. That's horrible.
Jesse Eisenberg. But he has a great movie. It's one of his ones. The Art of Self-Defense, and it's on Hulu. That's another great, hilarious movie and so unique. And you're like, wait a minute, what's happening? And it takes you a minute to kind of get what they're doing. I mean, there are so many great movies out there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Paper
aware
Tiger was great.
I actually finally, I know we talked about it a few weeks ago, but for the rest of the panel, I finally saw Pig a few weeks ago, and you know.
Oh, Pig's good. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's out there. It's more of you just gotta go out there and find it.
There's been a lot of good dramas, independent dramas, recently when there's a lot of our genre stuff's let us down. I think there's been a lot of good little drama movies. There's Pig. There's The Dry was really good. We enjoyed Small Engine Repair, which is Shea Wiggum's in some of these. He's really good. The Gateway, another Shea Wiggum film. A lot of good small. If you like dramas, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Oh, gotta seek it out. Okay, what you got, Mark?
Oh, I was just gonna say if you the Ebert just trashed the movie, and then if you go down a little bit, you could scroll down and you'll see what was actually open at this time, like around that time, which is awesome. Like look at all the cool like Back to School. Maybe Back to School was I don't know if that's a toxic. I love Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield.
Toxic. Yes,
that's toxic, right? And you
Is
got
it?
yeah,
that's right. Yeah, send me a reminder for that one, Mark D.
Bam and Pirates. I remember those.
You got Labyrinth. You got Short Circuit. I don't know what the hell Pirates was. You got Karate Kid Part 2. I mean,
Under the Cherry Moon.
Raw deal.
Stallone Cobra, Cinema 1. How's that?
You know the American Anthem was filmed out here where I live in Glendale in a big warehouse. It was about gymnastics and stuff. So
that was at the what was his name? I'm trying to remember. That was the gymnast who just passed away a couple.
Yeah, that was filmed out here. I was actually in that movie when I was a kid.
In the mall, yeah.
So.
Oh, look, Raw Deal is on this too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Raw Deal.
Yeah. Raw Deal. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Wow.
Well, it just shows you, man. Like, look at this, like, lineup of flicks all in the cinema at the same time. You would have, like, can you imagine having this problem to this day? Like, if us guys were together, like, let's just spend the day and just go see like freaking 2 or 3 flicks and just just do another round again later in the week because there's all these good flicks.
Yeah, bargain hours, $2.50.
And I'm looking up near the top right. I guarantee you that Siskel and Ebert absolutely swooned over Out of Africa.
I know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But so Nick, if you could scroll back up to the text just above with Ebert's comment, I'm going to say this is why I always considered Roger Ebert to be a perfect bellwether for comedies that I should watch, because if he hated it, I had to watch it. There was not one comedy that I loved that Roger Ebert ever had a nice thing to say about, and there wasn't a single comedy that he talked about in glowing terms. that I ever should have seen or ever will see again.
That's how I use Rotten Tomatoes today. Is if it has a low rating, I'm like, okay, let me go check this out.
Yeah, because Roger Ebert was the original modern Rotten Tomatoes as far as comedies, as far as anything other than films I probably wouldn't want to watch in the first place.
They did like some good stuff.
Yeah, I usually
they did, but the thing is that a lot of the good
comedies.
I love
But a
when
lot
they
of the good-
the two butted heads.
No, they
makes
did.
the
I
conversation.
actually, Gene Siskel, I couldn't read because half the time I agreed with him and half the time I didn't. But Roger Ebert, if he liked it, I wouldn't.
They loved Ghostbusters. I mean, they've loved a lot of good. Yeah, they were really picky, but they have once in a while. They like something great.
But at least
Oh,
they
that's-
weren't
that's-
chills.
that's
At
why-
least they weren't chills,
They weren't
though. That
chills.
was the,
No, they weren't
at least
chills.
they weren't chills.
But for both of them to have loved Ghostbusters was blind squirrel syndrome. Even a blind squirrel occasionally finds an acorn.
Yeah.
Real quick before I forget, because you were talking about the Golden Child or whatever. You know, the dagger in that was used as the antagonist or whatever in the what was it called? The Phantom with the Baldwin with Alec Baldwin. No, sorry, not the Phantom. It would be the Shadow. The Shadow.
Oh yeah, the same dagger. You mean,
Same dagger. Yeah.
Shadow was terrible.
And Nick, in this article too, if you scroll up to kind of the beginning, they talk. They talk about how they added. Well, they actually talk about how they added the preview or the prologue, where like we owe everything to Jack to kind of make the character look better, which is kind of why that kind of seems out of place when he's in. Egg is there and he's telling him, we owe, if it wasn't for him, and it's like he would never say that, not that he doesn't like Jack, but so I guess the studio made them put that in. Yep.
I like this here with this, this box obviously used to promote it, and that's like especially in a Chinese food box. Like this would not happen today at all.
No way.
This is gonna take Cracker Jack timing. Oh man, can you imagine? Like I would bought if this came out today, I would have so bought it. And there was somehow a video game. How?
Wait, what did it come out on?
Commodore 64.
Oh, it came out on the 64?
The Commodore 64.
I don't even.
The Commodore.
Never mind.
Never mind. It was.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video from Spoonie Experiment where he actually gets a PAL edition.
Oh, hold up.
Commodore 64. And
I like. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, no, he plays that, but he has to get his wall outlet changed so it can accept a United Kingdom plug. But he plays the Commodore 64 version.
This sentence here is very notable. The next notable release was Boom Studios' Big Trouble in Little China comic, which serves as the movie sequel we never got.
Yeah.
Thankful for it. The script for a proposed Fox TV movie followed as any indication. So is it trying to imply that the comic was what the script would have been for Fox? Oh no, I just misread that. So did anyone hear about anything about that comic?
I think they're saying the script for the Fox TV show was horrible.
Yeah, they wanted to do a follow-up that was going to take place after the movie, and what I've read, it was really bad.
Yeah, they did a comic. I had one of those comics.
Was it any good? Or there was a preview of it that I found.
Who
There was
wrote
like
it?
the first 16 pages.
I can't remember who wrote the comic. I remember picking it up. It's been so long. I don't remember much about it. And the art really sucked. But and again, I maybe I didn't pick it up. I may have looked at it and put it back down. I can't remember now. That's how memorable it was. But you speak of the writer. By the way, the writer of this film directed one of the other greatest, considered to be cult films of all time. Directed The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. W.D. Richter. So, a lot of great relation there between movies.
Oh yeah. And I see. Here's that thing about with even the Long Thread remake with The Rock eventually does this. I hope it never comes out. If it does, I straight up will not support this. I won't even let someone take me to see this for free. I'm so burnt out, and I've been burnt out for God. And it's only gotten worse in the last 10 years on remakes. So I'm like, I'm at the ceiling. I'm at the top of the lid with this stuff. It's just like, guys, let it go. Just stop. Like, and I know Hollywood can't because they always have an excuse. Oh, but
Yep.
this has a pre-existing fan base, or this is safe, or
Equity. Yeah. I'm the exact opposite of you. I'm like, hurry up, let's burn it down so we can rebuild. Like, let's get it over with. It's coming. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
I get where
let's
you're
bring
coming
in.
from.
Yeah,
Matt.
let's get
I
more
do.
geode. Like, I want a whole trilogy based on geode. That's it.
Rock.
That's right.
You know what? They haven't remade Three Little Ninjas with 3 girls yet. You know.
That
Don't.
you know that's
judge.
we're watching
Don't.
Surf Ninjas tomorrow on Street Spots.
Oh,
You're watching
right.
Surf Ninjas?
Hell yeah!
Surf
What
ninjas
Surf
must
Ninjas
die.
must die?
I'll be there, brother.
Trauma?
I
Yeah.
had a Game Gear. Did anybody else have a Game Gear?
That's
I had a
No.
Game Gear. Yeah, I had a Game Gear. Yeah.
Man, that X-Men game.
Oh, I played that game.
Yeah, the Ren and Stimpy game?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I read the Ren and Stimpy.
Happy, joy. Hell yeah.
Oh, that was so good. All right, guys, let's give out our scores, and then we'll plug. So, Van Bart again.
Oh.
Where do you score this movie?
Gosh,
Any
it was
final thoughts, of course.
so when I was watching it, right, I had it about a 9.2, a 9.3. And then that chick got kicked right in the fucking face.
And it's an 11.
It's
11.
It jumped to a 9.8, solid 9.8 for me.
We made 10 higher.
Yeah. Well, it didn't make 10 because again, it's not in my top 5 Kurt Russell movies. Believe it or not, I have Tombstone, The Thing, Bone Tomahawk. Had the rest of them, but I forgot.
Executive Decisions were me.
No.
I love Executive Decisions.
Maybe Backdraft. I think I may have had it up there.
Backdraft was good.
Yeah,
Backdraft.
But it's still great, man. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it that much again. And what was it? Bone Tomahawk? Hateful Eight, by the way. I really loved Hateful Eight too.
Oh yeah.
Did I say Tombstone? Tombstone's number 1 for me.
Tombstone's awesome.
Yeah, that could be a
Oh,
panel down
Tombstone's
the
awesome.
line. Tombstone will
Yep.
be a panel. I don't know when, but we will do a Tombstone one.
And
That
more
was
Huckleberry.
so good.
Don't forget Stargate too. If you're a Stargate.
Stargate. I
Yeah.
love Stargate.
I don't know if it's
I actually
Taco
would rate
much.
this higher.
Soldier.
It's 3.5.
Soldier is up there.
I like
Okay.
Soldier.
3.5
So-
diehards out of diehards, by the way.
And
3.5
how about
diehards.
where do you rank in toxicity?
Oh, it's 0. I didn't find anything toxic about it at all.
Well,
Like,
it's not
yeah,
much.
he didn't even take the chick at the end. He's like, nah, I got too much stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't find anything toxic. I think that he is just an example of how men should be. I think we should all take lessons from him. Hey, man, just let your confidence rule. Don't worry about whether or not you're capable of handling the situation. Just go for it.
Let's go
What
for
could
it.
happen?
You heard the man speak. Ben Mardigan has spoken, folks. So in toxicity and greatness from 0 to 9.8, he has spoken. All right, Bruce Lombardo.
I'm going to rate this movie a solid 10 out of 10.
All
This is
right.
the perfect movie. You want to watch a movie with your kids? This is it. You want to watch a movie by yourself and just enjoy yourself? This is it. You have an hour and 39 minutes to spend because that's how much time you're going to get rewarded with good vibes, some nice 80s music, wonderful story, amazing practical effects. The guy that played the furry creature, Noble Craig, he died a couple years back, but the guy was a Vietnam vet, lost both his legs and an arm and most of the sight in his right eye. And so he went to Hollywood to be just kind of like a helper for monster films and horror movies. That was his career. And you get a chance to, when I was just reading up on this today, I finally read the story of who played the monster. And when I read that, like, I just kind of sat back for a second, had a beer, and I'm like, I can't believe I've never read of this guy before. The dude was an amazing human being, and he's just one small part of a movie that has provided me with so many good times watching with my friends, drinking beers, or having illicit substances. It is the best film that's ever crawled out of California, and god damn it, we're never going to get another one like it. But you know what? We have this, and it is perfect by every means. Thank you.
Wow, well stated, Bruce. Thank you. That was awesome. Seriously, that was amazing, dude. All right, Jed.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I like I said, I got to see it before I got took out of the movie theater. I actually snuck to it, so and I loved it. And then by the time I was able to tell a lot of people out of it, it was already out of the movie theater. So I got to see it the last week before they took it out.
Yeah.
So, and it was at the movie theater when my friend ran. So he's like, "Yeah, go right in, dude." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, it has everything. It has comedy, action, like, some dirty humor, everything else, and it does have some toxicity, man. Like, he's like, well, you know what, old Jack? It does. Kicking a chick in the head, yeah, like,
all I see is equality. That was
equality, but yeah. I loved it because I was like, you don't see this shit nowadays. You're like, oh yeah. And then they go in there and all those chicks run after the guys. They're like kicking them in heads and like.
That's Jed likes that representation on screen. He enjoys it.
But, hey, you want to go against guy? Okay, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. Okay. But yeah, dude, if you want to see something that represented one of the things that actually represented the 80s, you get Big Trouble in Little China. It's an excellent representation of the 80s movies.
All right, where'd you score it then?
Oh, 9.5.
The man,
10.
the jet of the Archivist has spoken. 9.5. Cool, awesome, dude. Thank you. All right, red shirt.
I put Kurt Russell's performance in this movie is one of my 3 favorite performances he did in any movie. And I'm going to go with Bruce. I'm rating this a 10. This movie is a whole lot of movies in one. It's why the studio couldn't figure out what to do with it. It's one of my favorite movies. I had to have the Blu-ray so badly, I bought 2 of the damn things. This is just fun to watch. I agree. You can watch this with anybody, your mom, your children. You can watch this with a girlfriend. If she doesn't like it, find a new girlfriend.
Yep. Get out.
And
just don't kick her in the face.
No, don't kick her. Don't kick her in the head.
Oh, sorry, dear.
Give her the mad
lightly
treatment.
escort her to the door and then slam the door.
But give her a backhand.
Statement. Don't use blanket statements. There could be a reason why you need to kick her in the face. Let's not just dismiss that entirely.
You need to give her a good kick and then a backhand.
I will leave that up to individuals' own judgment. But this movie pulls off so many genres, does it well. You don't laugh at the monster. You don't laugh at any of the things in it. There's nothing that Carpenter tried to put in this movie that falls well below the rest of it.
Yeah.
So for an ambitious, I'm going to do a movie that's 5 different genres crammed into one little over an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is one hell of a piece of movie making and editing and performances. Everybody does a great job. The Asian actors all gave great performances. Everybody did. I mean, Lopan. As soon as I heard his voice in Kung Fu Panda, I went, I know that voice.
Kung Fu Panda.
Oh shit!
That was Kung Fu Panda's dad, for crying out loud. I'm like, wait a minute, the noodle seller is oh shit, it's Lopan? You're kidding me. So,
I just got that too, dude. I know that voice, like it just sounds like the voice that's used in a lot of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, they all sound like that when they get that age. But no, you're right though.
You out, Mr. Button.
Yes. Mr. Button. Yes. Indeed. Yes. So no, I love the movie. I recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen a lot of 80s movies. I'm gonna beat up Odin. I'm gonna tell him this is a movie if you haven't seen it. Odin is so young. He actually says he hasn't seen a lot of movies before he was born. I'm like, have you ever seen this? Because that's gonna be my next tag chat in one of his live
Man,
streams. Have you
I
seen
should
Big
get him
Trouble
on
in Little
Toxic
China?
Tuesday.
If you haven't, you need to see this movie, dude. My friend, please get this movie. Watch it.
Odin hasn't seen this.
I don't know. I'm going to find out next live stream I'm on with him, because he has a tendency not to watch movies made before he was born.
That's not.
And
good.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I've seen
What-
I don't know,
what?
I've seen almost as many movies from before I was born as after, for crying out loud. So
you can't
I
be a
don't
movie
understand
channel.
that. Yeah,
You
I don't
can't be a
understand
channel
exactly.
watching
How
a
are you
Inconceivable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
Yes.
You know what? We gotta find an old toxic flick, and we gotta get Odin on here. Let's work on that right shirt. We'll get Odin on here. We'll convince him, and we gotta find a very toxic flick, and I think we can get him on. We'll have to talk about this because I've not spoken with the man before, but let's make this happen. You got anything else you want to add?
I'll work on it with you.
Cool. That sounds
So,
great.
yeah,
You got anything else?
I love this. I recommend this, and this is one of my all-time favorite movies from anywhere near the period. It's one of the greatest comedies, and I just can't. I will watch it. I'm going to be watching it again soon. I know that.
Yes.
Killer. All right.
Thanks.
Awesome.
What was
Hey,
your
no,
score?
thank
I didn't
you.
hear the score.
Yeah.
Oh, 10.
that is
Oh,
10.
I gave it another 10.
What about the toxicity?
What?
The
Toxicity.
Yeah, toxicity.
In 1986, there was no such thing.
Well,
So
no, now
it didn't
though, now.
exist.
Now,
Well, that's people now, pushing
Pretty
their
regular
ideas
toxicity.
onto a movie.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't have it. You can read
Yeah.
anything you want into the movie, but it's
Yeah.
not there until you make it. Until
I
you
gave it
see
the same
there.
score. I don't know why you're yelling at me. I said it didn't have any either.
I know.
My goodness.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was yelling.
Not yelling, but like that old man yell.
Until the
Half lecture.
This
voice.
get off my lawn.
It doesn't have any. There isn't any there.
Mr. Onzo drop in from Big Ford Entertainment, and I also see Mr. Grant Gregory coming all the way from Australia. Hail, sir. Nice to see you all up in here. Thank you for dropping by. All right. Who have we got? CLOBBERIN. Final thoughts on this amazing flick.
This really pisses me off to no end. Oh, sorry. I thought we're doing little parent quotes. Sorry. You hear me all right now, buddy? Okay.
Oh.
You're not hearing me? Okay.
No, I can hear you.
Okay. I happen to agree with it. It's been said a couple of times. To me, it's a 10. This movie is absolutely, it's magnificent, and it succeeds at every single thing it is trying to do. And for a film that is cramming so many different genres, so many, just coming at you from so many different ways, there's no way this film should have worked with all the crazy stuff that John Carpenter and Richter, who wrote this thing, were trying to do. No way it should work. It's impossible, and it did. It could never. There's nothing to be improved upon in this film. It is a masterpiece in the sense that again, all the things that everyone has so already mentioned in terms of all the different genres crammed into one film. I just can't imagine a movie working any better with that much, with that kind of sort of an impossible task really to achieve there. So I love it. It's a perfect film for me. It's a 10.
Cool. Awesome, dude. Anything else?
Toxicity?
The toxicity, yes.
It's the levels are only high by today's standards, as everyone pointed out. In 1986, nothing bothered anybody. But you have a few scenes like the whole kicking the woman in the face stuff.
Hell yeah.
That's enough to trigger certain people. Again, you have male heroes rescuing women. No way. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's full of 2021 triggering toxicity. But I don't know what kind of rating you want to put on it, but it's there.
I do agree. It should have less women in it. That's for sure.
We said more women willing to get kicked in the face. Those stunt girls are amazing.
And it needed a few more backhands too, So.
Oh yeah.
Watch out, Robin.
Oh shit! Quarter Black Garrett, how's your boy? What's
Quarter
up, Garrett?
Black.
What's up, man?
Quarter
Black, what's up, brother?
Garrett, I gotta get you out here again. I'll be announcing our flick in a few minutes if you got time for next week. If not, we'll set something up for the future. But glad to see you jump on in here, dude. Hell yeah! All right,
Black
70s.
Garrett.
Pretty jealous of that. I'm pretty jealous of his fucking avatar. That thing looks sick as hell.
Right? I can't remember what a comic artist did it. I'll have to find the which ones. 70s.
Well, what can I say? I'm a huge John Carpenter fan. I absolutely love John Carpenter. I love Kurt Russell. I would love Kim Cattrall, but my wife won't let me. Explosions of green gas, and that's something Mrs. Rockfan does have to put up with every day. So, I can only give it a 10. I'm sorry. I'd like to give it more, because this is like a beloved relative. This movie, it just, I want it to be around me a lot, and I want it to be in my life all the time. So, absolutely adore it. Toxicity, maybe a 3. There's a few breaking arm scenes, with the old whatever, kicking in the face. Toxicity, I'd say 3. It's only a 3. Even by today's standards, it's only a 3.
Oh no, that's insane.
But yeah, absolutely adore it, and I've watched it so many times, and I'll watch it so many times again. I just love it.
Killer. All right. Thank you, 70s. All right, Marc D with a C.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks for having me here. What would I rate this? 9.5, because there's some movies I like better, but not many. I mean, this is like I said, one of those movies you'd watch with your buddies. So one of my friends, we'd have what was called the Violence Fest. So we'd rent all these, really violent movies for the weekend, and we just watch them for 24 hours straight.
I didn't find this movie violent.
No, well, this is violent. Yeah, this would make the cut.
Violent.
This would make the cut. Like you'd be watching
cartoonish style, cartoonish violence.
We'd throw. It had. It's got the monsters in there and stuff, and plus the movie's just so fun and so quotable too. So that's part of the fun. You're watching it with friends again. You just yell out. Yell at all these crazy quotes. So and then I think Carpenter, I was reading too. He got kind of disillusioned by how poorly the movie did, so he went back to making independent films. And
the studio was his biggest problem, though. He had a lot of problems with the studio. That's why he went independent. Yeah, because the way they didn't market it at all.
But he was very. What I was reading, he was very bitter about the whole experience, but we still got some fantastic movies from him. So I'd rate this 1986 Toxicity 0, but by today's standards, I'd probably rate it, like 11. Like you guys said, they're going to show, have a movie like this with, all these different scenes happening, kicking a woman, which has been mentioned, and just the whole plot line. And, you wouldn't have anything to do with China, maybe.
Face assaulting someone's foot, that kind of
that is a good point.
Yeah. So, and then...
what did your face hit my foot for, huh?
Right.
What is your problem?
Look what you did to my shoe.
So sooner or later, I rub everybody the wrong way, but hopefully I didn't do that tonight. But this is a classic. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to watch it, and then check out my channel too if you've got a chance. I do a Sunday night show with some of the guys here, and 3D printing. I've got here's an Eddie. I got to send this to Nick Weiser.
That looks like Jed. That's Jed.
Hey.
Apart from the brain, there's no brain in the real
brain. I like brain. That's an Abby normal brain, by the way.
Yes, it's
Abby. Hey, you want to know how I know Marc D is going to make it big on YouTube? Because unlike the rest of us, he was like, "Fuck it, I'll start promoting now." Because so he gets 2 promotions in. He's doing it now. Then we're gonna go back around to him.
I thought this was the promotion too. I thought Nick wanted to make it quick.
That was perfect. You can plug in while we're here, but I see Mr. Frank Greg come in with $1. Says going back to watch the stream from the beginning. Hail panel. Oh, and red shirt wearing a blue shirt. My whole reality been shook up. Thank you for the $1, Mr. Grant Gregory.
Yeah,
you guys have been awesome today. All right. Well, Mark D, go ahead and plug in your
Okay,
channel.
I'll plug too. Yeah, so I'll put
See,
the link in.
back-to-back
But yeah,
plugs.
back-to-back plugs. See, this is like the fancy draft. You pick, pick, and you get that round robin pick. It works out pretty good sometime on the end of the pick. But anyway, so check out my channel. I do a lot of toy reviews, 3D printing, pop culture, comics, hanging out with the gang, and on Pop Culture Archivist on Sunday with Jed, and Clobbering Times with the Global Geek Gang. Usually I'm there, and then just trying to appreciate getting invited on these great shows and getting a chance to hang out with some great guys and give some opinions, and it's been a lot of fun, so I appreciate it, and looking forward to the next week.
Awesome, dude. Thank you for coming on as always, and for also making the time that you have. I mean, obviously, between doing a channel and being a dad, being a husband, and work, all the works. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you ever need to take a break, obviously, or just need to step away, you know what to do. But I applaud your time, and I can't wait to do this a lot more.
Thanks for having me. Yep, appreciate it. Yep.
Thank you. All right, and our very specially awesome guest, Mr. Clobbering Time, sir.
Oh yeah, buddy. Well, tomorrow night you shall be joining me, along with the great Marc D with the C, the great Lord Thoth, and it's the monster of greatness, the Stone Loki.
Oh, this is gonna be a good panel tomorrow.
For an NFL history panel tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to talk about I usually do geek stuff. It's always usually comics and Star Trek and stuff, but we're going to deviate a little bit. Hope our geek fans who don't like sports won't kill us for it. But we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks for all 32 teams in the league. We're going to react to a video that picked them out and didn't do the best of jobs doing it. So, and then Thursday, Global Geek Gang Show Gather. I got a big surprise topic for that one. Not a surprise, but we're gonna look at. Remember a couple of weeks ago, Nick, when we were on your show on a Friday night and talking about all these, I was showing you all these covers of all these dream team ups.
Yes.
We're going to do a deep dive onto that, and we're going to let you name the team up. Of course, crossover type team up that you want to see from comics and never saw. Then I'm going to show it to you.
Oh.
Of course, Saturday night Star Trek as always, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with my wonderful first officer Raquel Briggs. We will be reviewing all of Real Trek on there, so that'll be on 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Oh boy, 4 more episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation season 2. It's getting better soon. So we'll get to a good episode soon.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, Clobbering, thank you for coming on. I can't wait to talk football, by the way. This is going to be great.
It's going to be fun,
it's going to be so fun. The fact we got also Marc D with us, and Thoth, and Solo. Oh, dude, this is going to be
great Loki.
good.
Let's go Giants.
Whatever.
Tony Romo better be on the Mount Rushmore. I know people are going to jump.
That's what he doesn't
Tony
belong.
Romo.
Romo does not belong, but he is on the one.
Piss off with that.
He does belong there. Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
does.
belongs
What
below.
if Romo ever win?
Starbucks should be up there. Starbucks should be up there.
Aikman.
Danny White, Starbucks should be up there.
Danny
And
White
Tony
belongs on
Romo,
there
and
instead of
then
Romo.
and then Troy, because he won 2 Super Bowls
What
back
about
to
Dak?
back.
What about Dak?
Dak can go
the
fuck off
three.
because he's a little bitch too.
Whoa.
All right.
Crying bitch. Oh, I got hurt.
Shut up, Jeff.
His bone was out of his fucking leg.
And then he comes back. He goes, "I'm better than ever." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, and he threw for over 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. You know
Give me a
this
list of
ain't
the
gonna
playoff
last.
Give me a list of playoff games
Well, no
Romo
shit.
won.
Who can throw? No one's going to throw 400 yards and 3 touchdowns every game for 17 games. My God. Anyways, hey, I'm Mad Mardigan.
Yeah, by the way, Romo is on the video we're going to be commenting on.
Good,
So
he should be.
But he doesn't belong.
Yeah. Whatever. Hey, I'm Mad Mardigan. Yeah, and let's see. We do Street Spots every Wednesday and Saturday at 3 p.m. Central. We will be watching Surf Ninjas. We just finished our last Neil Bren movie. I have a new bit coming out. Like it's gonna be a 15-minute little thing. It's called Magic with Mad, and I'm putting the D in magic and right in there. And I will be like, I'm putting so I'm going to be doing magic tricks, right? Because I'm going to learn magic tricks, and then I'm going to perform said magic trick in front of different YouTubers. Nick is going to be one, and it's going to go well. It's not going to fail whatsoever. I'm going to nail it. So just let y'all know that. What else? Oh, we did a fantasy football, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to let y'all see what's happening. Yeah, that's it. I think. Yeah, sometimes I do a late night stream. That's what I do.
Right. Cool.
I'm here. Oh, and yeah, I'm also the co-host on on Mad and Culture. Do it live together on a Wednesday stream, which is tomorrow.
Sounds disgusting.
I'm also a co-host on The Dump with
That
Scott.
sounds disgusting too.
Yeah, I'm a peanut. I'm one of the peanuts in The Dump. I'm a co-host, and but that won't be tomorrow because my wife's having a baby. I can't do it. I told him to do a remote from the maternity ward because you know what I mean. He's like, what? No, that's crazy. I'm like, no, it makes sense because use your phone. We'll put you in the back and mute you, but just let the show happen.
Yeah,
But,
show him. I can show him how to use his phone to do it.
Yeah.
Don't be such a baby about it. Come
Right?
on.
I think that's the biggest problem. Is
I know, right?
phone.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna have another kid down the line. You can do a stream. Come on, man.
I had 8 more shows that I'm a co-host on, but we can skip those. We can do them next time.
All right, man. Thank you. As always. All right, Jen. Make it smooth and make it sweet and make it swift.
Oh yeah. 'Cause I'm not gonna pull a culture and do 20 minutes of it, but yeah. I'm kind of switching things around. I'm all over the place. So I'm over on Drew's. I'm over on I'm over on Drew's and everything else, and I'm over at Nick sometimes, and over with Matt sometimes on Foul Ball, and over the Global Geek Gang. We have our stuff, so yeah, I'm all over the place. So Ellen Snow Dub and a bunch of other places, and Thursday Night Throwdown. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. What's up, One Rough Girl? You caught
One
the
Rough
tail
Girl.
end, but I would highly encourage that you catch the replay because this has been absolutely fun. So what's up to you? Thanks for dropping by. All right, Mr. Red Shirt, the Red Shirt, as we always like to say around here. Plug away, sir, whatever it is that you got.
Well, you see me in chats often with the wrench. I am on Foul Ball Productions stream on Friday nights called the MF for Cocktail Lounge as a regular guest. And that's what I do regularly. Every once in a while, I get lucky enough to be invited by a kind host like 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser to appear on a stream like this. If I do, I put those streams up in Minds. You can follow me on Minds at Just Another Red Shirt or at JA Red Shirt. And I got one other thing to say, Nick.
Yes.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, gents?
No horseshit, Jack. No horseshit, Wayne.
Oh, Richard. Hey, I'm glad you got to join. I hope this is not the last time we do this. Obviously, you know what to do if you want to come on. The door's open. That's how we roll around these parts of the woods. So appreciate it. And as always, appreciate your mod service as per usual as well. So keep on doing the mod fight. And I know everyone in the chat and all the panelists here and beyond appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
And debuting as well on Toxic Tuesday with a really nice haircut, Mr. Bruce Lombardo. Sir, plug away.
Hey, guys. How's it going tonight? Just here at the Bob Ross Memorial Paint Desk. Thought I would enjoy myself and be part of your little toxic masculinity stream. And I had a wonderful time. I was erect throughout all the whole thing. It was amazing. I just can't wait for the next time I get the chance to be part of your wonderful panels, Mr. Nick Weiser. And I get a rise out of hearing about the new flavors coming out of the brew house. I do want to thank you guys. If you stop by my channel in about 2 weeks on a Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream D&D game. We do one every 3 weeks here off of my channel. You see my friends off to the side like here because everybody's scared of the coof right now. We don't want to upset the COVID bandit and make him come over to the house. So anyway, I also talk about politics every once in a while. If you pop in on a late night, I might be streaming. Currently, I've got the O2 set up. That'll be gone in about 3 weeks, it looks like, the way the numbers are showing up. So hopefully
my life will be getting back to normal. But I really appreciate being able to come on board tonight. This was a wonderful thing. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Mads. Thank you, panel. Thank you, chat.
Awesome. Hey, dude, appreciate you coming on. And as I had said to Mr. Redshirt, I know this will not be the last time we do this again. So we'll be talking soon, man. Thank you.
Well, we'll talk about it afterwards.
And last, but absolutely not least, the returning That 70s Rock Fan. Welcome back and thank you.
Thank you for having me, sir. I'd like to also thank you for allowing me to take some time off work and not get paid just to appear on this show. That was very good of you.
That's
actually,
dedication.
No, actually, that's not true. I got up for the 5 a.m. shift this morning, so I did get some.
Even better.
I just switched shift. But no, this has been excellent fun. I would like to hope that, as in the movie, they explain the Chinese have got many hells. And let's hope they don't put us in the hell of unwanted remakes by making another one of these, because the original is just perfect. But yeah, it's been really fun, mate. I do have my own channel, that's 70s-RockFan, and work permitting, I'm hard at work on a couple of new videos, but you'll also regularly see me on Friday nights on Foul Law Productions Cocktail Lounge, on the Pop Culture Archivists whenever I can get home from work early enough, and forcing my way onto several other people's channels as if they'll have me. So I would like to thank the chat for being here today, because they're a fantastic chat, and I'd like to thank all you guys. Please, everybody, subscribe to everyone's channels here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, I'll start off with, yes, the chat has been great, and also the mods, Darius Munchausen, the Wake Down, of course, our panelists, just another red shirt. Like, you guys have been awesome, keeping up. And to everyone who came in here, whether it's for a few minutes or even was just listening and lurking, left a comment, left me some tips too. Like, you guys are all awesome. Also, like, to the toxic ladies who survive as toxic males, thank you. And to all the dudes who always listen to us, we appreciate you. And this fine panel of amazingly toxic gentlemen, these guys are awesome. It's been great. It's been fun. This movie has been fun to talk about. But next week, we're going to talk about something else. And it's going to be called The Last Boy Scout. That will be next week's Toxic Tuesday flick.
So, don't be spilling my warm cup of piss.
Nick, ever since I found this show, the first thing I said was, like, if I am not on there for The Last Boy Scout, I will lose my fucking shit.
Are you going away on vacation next week, or hopefully you're here?
Yeah, go away on vacation.
No, I'm here.
Your vacation just got canceled.
I have forced myself not only onto the stream, but as the co-host, because I want us to cover The Last Boy Scout.
You said because that was my idea, I could choose.
It was Clobberin does get credit. He brought it to my attention.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you said I could choose who gets on the panel, so I'm not.
All right.
I'm going to choose right now if it's okay.
Yeah.
You and me and Marc D. And 70s. And
what?
He's a good guy.
If I could make it, I'd love to be there.
I hope they're all
For what? For what? For your football thing?
No, Last Boy Scout. I was just kidding.
Don't put
How
me
do
in
you ban people? How do you ban people? Can I ban them from here?
See, yeah, me and Matt never get any love anymore, man.
I'm gonna Google how to ban people, and boy, I'm telling you.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, that's next week. Toxic Tuesday, The Last Boy Scout. But from then until then, I got the new Carcass album I'll be reviewing. Obviously, tomorrow night on Clobberin's channel, we'll be talking football, like actual football. And then maybe I might appear again on the Cocktail Lounge. Maybe we'll see. Maybe.
And don't pass out this time.
Well, wouldn't that be funny if I did again? You guys would love
dude. That'd be awesome.
And then Saturday, I'll be having a birthday stream in the morning into the noon hours because I hit the age of 34. So we'll just hang out, shoot the shit for morning into the noon. So
you're almost as old as this movie, or
Yes.
Almost.
You don't look a day over 48, mate. It's okay.
It's been good chat, and the fact that people are still here is even better. And yes, Stephen Otten, you take care, Islington girl. This has been that was epic. Come back to. All right, well, I'll talk to Matt. I'll shoot him a message tonight, and if he says I'm in, then I'll be in, and I'll make sure I come in with a few drinks all up in me.
I'm the co-host over there as well. I could probably get you in.
No. VW is the co-host over there. He gonna
All
have
right.
words with you on
By the
that
way,
one.
the Last Boy Scout can be found on Netflix if you want to watch it. Yeah.
This is the part where we say good night, good fight, and we have that one song with na 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 na.